you guys know what time it is. That's right, it's time for the SpaceBro Show. Your number one Friday night podcast talking about all the Star Citizen shenanigans that happen throughout the week. All the development that we know, we love, and we're waiting for. And tonight, we have a full house, of course, because we got SpaceBro Gaming here. Minus one Geo, obviously. But with the glorious addition of the one, the only, Mr. DrDronez is here with us tonight, guys. There he is. Also joining us tonight is the one, the only, Uber Nerd. That's right, he's here. He's the Chewie, the Wookiee you love, the person that is here in the background, staring at his screen. And Toygrubin's here, guys. He's here to hang out with us and have a good time. And you know me, I'm Mitauchi. So let's get this party on the road. Let's do our things and have some fun as we enter the amazing SpaceBro Show. And what is up, guys? What's going on? Hey. All right. Well, the gang's all here. So
bad.
Yeah, so Drones is finally, we've been able to pin him down and finally get him on the show. Got him free from some work and moving and all that good stuff, so that's awesome. Geo's obviously back to work. We're going to be rotating the guys on as we can and all that stuff, you know, and all that. So make sure you're following everybody in the channel too. And you can follow everybody to win the exclusive giveaways tonight and stuff by typing in !SBG. And I think I've got it all updated properly, so it should be good to go. So let's start with Mr. DrDronez. How have you been, sir? We haven't seen you on the show in a while, and what have you been up to?
Oh my god. I've been moving, man. Freaking nightmare. It has been insane. And just getting the rig set back up and getting everything usable has been just, I mean, imagine tearing down all of your streaming gear and moving it.
Yeah, I've done that once or twice in my life.
Don't imagine.
I don't want to. I don't want to ever do it again. You even had to run wires, though. I mean, it's not just moving the rig; it's like resetting up the entire deal for the deal. So that's it. It's involved. Yes. It's involved for sure. Yeah. So
that's pretty much been my life for the past 2 weeks. Has just been moving, boxing, unboxing, all that shit, running wires, putting up foam stuff. Yeah, making this a usable space.
Well, and we've been peeping out. You've been showing me some behind the scenes images of you getting your IRL rig going. We haven't revealed it yet. We're not going to show it yet, but he's piecing together, and it's going to be pretty epic. So I can't wait to see that. They'll probably make its debut over at TwitchCon. So
I have decided I need to stay away from lightning storms, though.
I would highly suggest that.
It's going to be in my best interest.
I think even
more so than a normal person.
If it's even partially cloudy, I think I'm going to keep a good 10 feet away from you.
You might want to go further.
I don't want to be a conduit of that. So it's like what?
So basically, he's made it out of some baling wire, coat hangers, a erector set, and a bunch of duct tape.
And some lightning rods.
Actually, the best comparison I could say is if you took all the AV equipment you would normally use for a stream and threw it on an erector set and wrapped it around yourself.
I was
it is.
Close.
You were closer than you thought.
Really close.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to having you back in the fold and all that stuff, and you'll see him in the rotation a little bit more. Yeah. So, Uber Nerd, you've hit some goals, I think, and you've got some special stuff coming up on your stream. Why don't you tell us about what you've had going on and what you're planning on doing here in the next week?
I am extraordinarily close to my goal of 2,000 followers, and that means that I'm going to be streaming with a Wookiee costume. But I'm at 1995 now, and as I've told my stream, when I hit the 2,000 mark, it's at that point that I plan it. If I don't hit it until tomorrow, then and I always do my giveaways, the big ones, right, on a Saturday for fairness sakes, right? Because otherwise, if it's during the week, sometimes my American viewers, they're at work. Yeah. It's not necessarily fair for them. So I try to do the big giveaways on a weekend, on a Saturday, to be fair for them. I don't know if that'll be better or worse for me because the weather is very unpredictable. But it seems that if I made it tonight, well, I didn't make it today on my stream, so
Well, you just got to play it by ear and see what feels right for your channel at the time.
But I do have the Wookiee. I
Yes.
do have the Wookiee costume, and
Yes.
you guys have seen that.
Yeah,
so.
we've seen a little sneak peek, so
Yes, yeah.
it's
So
gonna be good.
yeah, it is going to be good, and I just got to figure out. I have a way to cool myself. Good,
Yep.
and I'm thinking of delaying the full on Wookiee get up. Maybe I'll do it on Monday because it is Labor Day, and that'll then the Americans have that day off, and then for Europeans, when I start streaming, it's their evening anyways. So.
So there you go.
That may work out just right, and then I will put together my redneck air conditioner, and should be fine.
There you go. So looking forward to seeing that. Should be fun. I think it'll be nice. So that'll be cool. Toy, my friend, what have you been up to? What's going on?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Long slider heaven.
Yeah. Fighting the good fight over there with all the trolley
we're
lulls
doing
in
pretty
chat.
good right now.
Yeah, it sounds like Space Bros are doing great over there. It sounds like everybody else is like at each other's throat, just crying at each other.
Crazy.
So,
You would think I'll join the Mayhem server. They'd expect this, but
yeah.
they just.
It seems a lot of people join Mayhem because they think they want action, and then when they get on there, they don't want the action they get. It's like it all sounds good in theory. So yeah.
Well, because everyone comes on thinking they're the alpha.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well,
and they just.
And then they run into the Space Bros.
That's it.
And that's the end of that. So. Oh, it's good. So yeah, but me and Toy have a lot of stuff coming up across this. We're getting closer and closer. We're only literally about a month and a half away from like starting the epic trip. So that's going to be pretty crazy. And look forward to. I haven't decided exactly when we're going to start yet. Toy started early on me, but we're gonna get the beer bars going. He better get a head start. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
He better get it padded up there now. So. We'll see what happens. But, apparently Toys raised the ante, so now whoever loses has to be the initial beer bitch. So we'll see what happens there with that. So,
well, so you guys are not going to go on Harleys, like chopped Harleys with denim jackets, and
I wish. That'd be
easy
fun.
rider form right there. Come on, we got to see it. Both
That
you
would be
guys on
blast.
Harleys.
If you guys could just raise 25, 30 grand a piece, we'll get some Harleys and we'll go right there on that.
We'll chop
run
them. Got to make sure they have them long front forks.
Get
So you're
some,
sitting there
get
like,
some,
kicking way back.
get some gorilla hangers on them,
renting
and
the Harleys wouldn't be that unreasonable.
yeah,
I know, right?
Just saying, you
Yeah.
can set up a goal for renting Harleys,
Hey,
not have to get to 25 grand, maybe hit something reasonable.
My luck, I'd take it down there and it'd get stolen though, and
That's why you take the insurance package.
that's true.
Every
Exactly.
time.
right?
That's true. So, and we're still on the fence. Val, we don't know if Val's going to be able to go with us or not, but Val, he's pleasantly employed now. He got a great job, so he's going to be
Nice.
setting up over in Phoenix. So we're really happy for Val. So big shout out to him.
Those are two words that don't normally go together.
Yeah,
A Valen job.
No, pleasantly employed.
pleasantly employed. Yeah,
It's usually
They go
pleasant.
better when you're not.
yeah.
Because then you want to be.
Exactly. It's one of those things. When you are employed, you're like always bitching about your job, but when you're not, you're always worried about getting one. So it's just
That's right.
It's life. That's the way it goes. But yeah, so it's really cool. Very happy for him. We hope he'll be able to make it, but if not, we totally understand, and we'll have to just scoop him for the next event. So we'll see.
I'll have to, in honor of his new job, I'll have to play "Working Man" by Rush on my stream tomorrow.
There you go.
You know what we should do, man?
What's
we
that?
should just take his roommate with us.
Oh yeah, we'll just take her. Yeah. Why not? Especially if we get Harleys. She can just ride on the back.
Who wouldn't want a model
Yeah.
to go with him on a trip?
Yeah. She'd like it. It'd be fun. There'll be fun, nice people there at TwitchCon. I'm sure she'll fit right in.
We can get her to cosplay up.
Yeah. Somehow I don't think she'd go for any of that.
What? Come on, cosplay is awesome.
I don't think she'd
She's
go
not
for that.
that really that type. She's more the Southern Belle type.
Southern Belle model type.
So she could cosplay as like the chick from Gone with Wind. What's her name?
Yeah? Yeah, probably not.
There you go. With the whole hoop skirt and
Probably not, but we'll see what happens.
tiny little useless umbrella.
There you go. It's a shade umbrella, They're fashionable. All right, guys. Well, we got a lot of Star Citizen stuff to talk about. We're going to go ahead and kick off the initial raffle for you. We are doing a $10 Star Citizen gift card for you tonight. All you'll have to do is follow all these super awesome gentlemen inside the stream. Make sure you're linking into their channels doing that stuff. And again, you can get those links through !SBG in chat, and that'll give you the SpaceBro Gaming link for all the channels here. Then you can also simply type SpaceBros in. If you ! SpaceBros will get you into the raffle for the $10 gift card. Additionally, you can ask questions throughout the show, but you need to do them on our document. And the way you get to that document is ! questions. And then whoever asks the best question tonight, and it will be chosen by Mr. Dr. Drones, will get a $5 hanger flare for that. And for those of you who won stuff during the week off my channel, we are going to pay those out tomorrow. I apologize. We had some family stuff, and I got busy with some other things off there, so I had to deal with that. But all payouts will be on Saturday for all the prizes that have been won over the last week. And while we're at it, we'll include this gift card and $5 hanger flare, so everybody's up to date. So that'll be great. All right. So this week, development was pretty much as expected. This is traditionally what CIG does, is after a big event, they have the behind-the-scenes type thing. That's what they always do. They show you kind of some of the challenges they had and kind of what behind the camera, what you saw or what you didn't see, rather, in those type aspects of the event, as it were. And they also obviously let in with the burn down. So the burn down, yeah, I mean, it's kind of went the way I had feared it would. I mean, we knew there was always a possibility of getting some more issues and kickbacks and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it went from the original 67 issues from the previous week to up to 90 issues now. So while they did kill off a couple, it did actually increase the amount of issues. And a lot of that was due to, from what they said, from Gamescom, because they discovered more issues from people playing the game, right? What was your guys' impression of, hearing that it increased and did all that stuff? We'll start with Mr. Uber Nerd. And so what was your reaction, your initial reaction to all this?
Well, I did expect it to increase. When I saw that it did, the initial increase brought it up to over 100, and they were able to get it down to 90, I guess, yes. So there's at least that. It's not over 100 again. Mm-hmm. They said that a few of the bugs were real, like they would have been huge blockers had they not caught them in time, and it would have been, it would have delayed it anyway. So my guess is that these are bugs that over the next 3 to 5 weeks, they would have found anyway, and it still would keep us from going to. It's nice that they're identified. They may be gotten rid of quicker now that they're identified. If they had stayed hidden, it would have been like, oh, we knocked out 40 bugs, but we created 39, right? And so that could have gone on for much longer. So I'm hoping that revealing a lot of bugs all at once may not do the we knocked out 40 and created 39 kind of situation that we've been seeing. So, I mean, maybe I'm too Pollyanna, but that's kind of how I am. I'm looking at it. So,
absolutely. And so I mean, I agree. I think maybe the identifying through some of the playtesting at Gamescom was kind of like a pre Evocati, if you will, just to a certain point. Yeah. But Drones, how about you? What was your initial reaction, impression? I mean, what were you thinking?
Very similar. I'm absolutely glad they ran into these problems and realized that there are problems they didn't really foresee. It's one of those things that in the development process, and I think this gets lost a lot in the community, is that you're learning as you go what you've broken when you've added new things. So you add something new, you could break 15 things that worked yesterday. And people don't realize that that is the development process. It's not like a forward progression in a linear pattern. It's a, oh, look, we're moving forward. Oh, crap, we've got to start over. And it's a tough process, but seeing that actually happen in front of you, unexpected, at a major event, just shows you how realistic that process is, that you are going to run into these problems. There are going to be delays. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's what we want. We want them to figure this out before we sit down and play it.
Well, it also kind of...
I want it fixed.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to add a little bit extra just to say that along with what he's saying, it also shows people who may be who may be still on the, is it really happening, or is it still, are they just grabbing the money? That it's open. They're showing exactly what's going on. Most of the developers in the world who may have maybe 3 years ago had, well, we don't know, are now all looking at this going, wow, And so if anybody asks another developer, that other developer who may be working in another company may go, no, that's really intense stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to point out that some of the benefits of their system are also the hindrance too. Like, because they have this beautiful global program to where they have the 4 studios, multiple time zones, it does allow them to work virtually almost 24/7. But as they continue to build this awesome universe, again, it's like a puzzle piece, and things don't fit together, right? They constantly have those challenges. And I know, Toy, we talked a little bit about this right here, and I was going to let you talk about it, what we're looking at here on the screen, and some of the things that were frustrating, kind of like a little bit for you on that regard.
Yeah, so one of the things they highlighted was this elevator that did not line up with the building correctly. What really bugged me about this is at the very end of this, their fix was to put a ramp. And they don't know why the problem got caused. So I'm like, really? I mean, this is a ramp.
Yeah, you can see there it is right there, what they put in. Yeah.
Obviously somebody measured the elevator wrong. I mean, because these are real working elevators. So I'm sure they got some kind of specs or whatever. But go back and do it right. Don't just hokey something together. Let's put a ramp
Actually,
in.
that's not an elevator there, Toy. That's an airlock. So it doesn't go up and down. There's an elevation outside and then an elevation inside. And that's where they're saying they'd either have to move the elevator down, which would make it inconsistent with the outside elevation, or they'd have to move the whole Levski up. So because there's no elevator, that's just an airlock there. That's at the top part of Levski where you go into the airlock. Remember where they just go in and then go out to where all the vehicles are. So what I understood, now I could be wrong. What I understood was he was saying that the outside of the airlock matched up with the ground level out there, but the inside was off by that amount that they showed. And so the solution was to raise up all of Levski, which would cause all kinds of problems with other items down in Levski, or lower the airlock, but that would cause problems with it meshing outside with the actual planet, right? So instead of going through, which would cause a whole lot more problems of raising Levski up a little bit, they just put a ramp in. And when I saw he said that fixed a second bug, right?
Here,
see that
you're right here.
Yeah.
This is the bug that actually concerns me more than the ramp thing.
Yeah. Why is he switching out when he comes up to the door? He said he didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't know. I'm guessing this. Okay, so when we come to the door, we're interfacing with we're basically the game is preparing us to interface with that
other zone,
right? No, the actionable that is the opening the door.
Yeah.
Right? So it's trying to line us up. The program is trying to line us up before we actually go click on it so that it's fast acting. But it can't because we're out of alignment by that amount that you're not up there. When you finally get you up to the ramp, all of a sudden you're lined up with it. Yeah. I think that it has to do because you notice it was just causing the player to jitter And I think that
they said it was also inconsistent too on that.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things.
Everywhere.
It might be partially the lineup on that. He said the animation originally worked, but it just didn't hit the right spot. It didn't show it at the right spot because it's like looks like he was missing the whole thing, even when he interfaced with the lock. But I still think it's also because the same problem they have, like you said, there's so many layers there, right? With the zone, because you are moving zones when you go through that door, and all the atmosphere, right, interfaces. There's so many changes of environment that occur, and that's what these those boxes they showed when they were showing all these different zone type things in the area. I don't know if I can show that again or not. But either way, I think it's when he goes in that zone to, like you said, to kind of gear up to go through that interface and whatnot. It is screwing with it, but it's not consistent. So it's really interesting.
Well, it's because sometimes when you go into that zone, you're not running, you're walking. When you're walking, you're closer to that plane that you're supposed to be at. When you're running, you're leaning forward. You've lowered your center of mass. You see when he runs up there, it triggers it. But if he walks up there, it doesn't. That would be my guess. If I were doing the debugging, I would go in there and I would go, okay, so if you take off the interaction button with the door, does he still do that?
Yeah.
But
if it
did
doesn't,
you see the green character model like coming off him and laying down on the ground sideways?
Yeah, I think it killed him sometimes. I think it was a mapping. Sometimes the character died, but that's also And then, while I don't want it to delay the game, it's just odd that they're at the point where sometimes it's like that. And like you said, if you were debugging what you would do as a process, I'm just surprised they didn't try to kind of go a little farther, or they
maybe
like
did.
this.
They just only showed us the first part. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think of this girl's? Like when I saw her, I was like, wow, okay, that's impressive. She is the first. I think she's the first, like just standard NPC who I thought was really good looking.
Mm-hmm. She had good mannerisms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
The I think they call it the performance. The performance of the character was really, really good. The motion was good on it. They did have to move the counter, they said, and obviously they have a lot of clipping issues with this since they made those counter adjustments. Yeah. But I mean, it's all adjustable. It all looks really good, I think.
That's the best character. That's the best NPC I've seen in the game yet.
Yeah.
If they can get some AI stuff added to her, like when people come in the shop, that she glances over to the people and says, hi, if you need anything, let me know, and then goes back to talking to whoever she's talking to, that would be awesome.
Yes, that would be so cool.
Yeah, I still want what Toy was talking about last week, where if somebody came out in their underwear, like you see people do all the time in Portal, the AI like looks at them and goes, what? And other people like go, stay away from him. Their reaction is like a natural reaction to it. So that'll be cool to see if they go that way with it. I assume they want to, because they want to make everything hyper mannerism and actionable like that. And we've seen other games do that type of stuff. But I think that would also, those reactions to you would stop some of the people being able to like do crazy stuff so much. Or it would feed into certain people wanting to do it so they get that crazy reaction from everybody. But then in the launch game, they could actually get in trouble for streaking.
Right.
That would be funny if you got fined for streaking in the hallway or something because you're running around your underwear. Yeah, nothing harsh, but I mean, just something kind of, to make it more a real environment. I think that'd be fun.
This was funny. Finding him in the fetal position on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dude, he's just got overserved.
Yep. Or he's crying because 3.0's not out. He's like, I can't do it. I can't do it, guys. You
guys are making me do this over and over.
Yeah. Talking to the same
with
QA guys for weeks. I need a friend, a real friend.
Hand shot first. That's why he's doubled over in the corner.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy sauce.
Man, these beards.
Ricky has the most amazing hair. Like, I wonder how much product he uses in that hair, because it literally does not move. He's got the super Flojo Eric Kyer Davis hair. Like, it's not crazy wild like this.
I mean, he could get away with, like shaving the whole bit off, putting it into a wig, putting it back on, but having it hollowed out in there and have some sort of like air conditioning going on inside.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a lot of hair up
It
there.
is.
And then the beard as well, you know?
Yep. The hair weight on him is like probably, I don't know, he's probably looking at least 3 pounds.
As much as my Wookiee costume.
Yeah, it might be. It might be.
He should turn it into a zip drive. He pops his head off and plugs it in his computer.
Oh my gosh.
Have a USB connection to it.
Yeah. All right, so here we go to the Intrepid graph.
Oh, well, that's my volume. He says my volume's dropping, but that's probably because I'm leaning back away from
Well,
the mic.
even when you're leaning back, your volume spikes, and I have to manually turn it down because it's like red line. It's fluctuating like this even when you're in the same state.
Huh.
I don't know why.
That is
But-
weird.
Yeah, but it'll get really intense, and then it'll start to fade away.
Oh, hold on just a second here.
Yeah. But I've just got my hand. You'll see my arm reaching over to the mixer. I'm like manually adjusting you as the volume goes up and down.
I think, yeah. So I have a Oh, huh.
Hmm?
Just a second. Okay. I just. Can you still hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you the whole
Okay,
time.
good.
You'll just go up and down.
Well,
in
no.
volume.
I had to basically disable my webcam microphone. So I think it's having an issue where it's picking up my microphone from my webcam and here at the same time.
That could do
and
it.
it's going back and forth between them. So
And that CIG is how you troubleshoot.
yeah.
Let's move on. Excellent. But this is not a ski slope with the mountain climb. This is we had a steady decline in the amount of issues that we talked about at the beginning. And unfortunately, we had a slight jump up. It actually went above 100 by a little bit.
Yes,
It
that's
looks
what I was saying.
Yeah, definitely. And then they got it back down to 90. So the amount of bugs killed per week is still going steady. Unfortunately, we just had a sharp increase there. So that just kind of added to the flavor, so to speak. But then they went on from that to where we always see this, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, at these, where they do the behind-the-scenes type cuts. Anytime they have a major event, they'll do the same thing after CitizenCon too. Because realistically, after a major event, they don't have more content to show us, right?
Right.
And unfortunately, with the 3.0 constantly being iterated on and all that, we won't have more content to show us besides burn down content and bug smasher type quality stuff until it's out. So we're probably the next month or so, that's what you're going to get. You're not really going to get a lot of new development stuff. You're going to get
Just gonna have to-
continuous stuff.
Just gonna have to deal with us, and that's it. You know. I
Yeah.
mean, we're gonna have to entertain the crap out of you.
I know. I'm trying to learn to juggle. We're
Totally
working.
overwhelmed now.
Yeah, we're working it. I think Drones is learning the hula hoop. We're going to get everything done. It's going to happen.
I'm gonna start singing some old songs from the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, absolutely. So Drones, what we didn't get to hear your impressions from the Gamescom last week because obviously you were busy with the move and all that stuff. So what was some of the highlights for you that you saw either from the floor show or from the actual presentation? And what was some of the oh crap moments that you had from that whole deal watching it?
I'll be honest with you. One of the coolest things, in my opinion, was watching them jump out of the cutlass and then catching the guy midair.
Yes.
That to me was cool as shit. You know, like all the other stuff, I was like, yeah, okay, kind of expect this. Exploding Idris, okay, yes, it's cool, but kind of expect it to be a thing at some point. You know, the jumping and then catching, that was like, okay, so physics work. You can go from one grid into another. All that works. That's huge, you know, and that's within atmosphere. So it's like, that was a big step. I was like, okay, that is the coolest thing out of the event from what I saw. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't watch the whole event. I didn't have time. I've been doing all this junk here, but the parts I caught, that was what I was like, yes.
Right
and
on. Yeah, I thought
apparently I've been called out for juggling grenades.
Juggling grenades? You better stop that stuff. At least
I don't know what
not
you're
here.
talking about, man.
That's a Star Marine only practice. You better not be doing it here.
Juggling
Don't
your
mess
nads.
Well, I wonder if I can jump out of a cutlass and drop a grenade and hit somebody on the ground.
I think it'll be a lot like what happens when I EVA and throw a grenade. The grenade travels at the same exact rate as me and sits beside me and usually kills me.
Yeah, that's probably what'll happen.
Now, maybe you could throw a grenade back up. I look forward to doing a Halo jump and then maybe coming out with the railgun and seeing if I can shoot the ship that I left while I'm traveling down. Now, that might be possible.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yep.
I want to see how many ships it takes to go from the ground to where it breaks out to space. So we'll just stack ships on top of each other.
Ships on top of each other all the way up. That would be a lot
all the way
ships.
out.
I don't think we
build a ship space elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could take the caterpillars and put them vertical.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Crazy sauce.
And everyone wonders why there are so many bugs and so many server crashes in our future.
What?
Hey,
This mentality of
That's our
can we
job.
stack
It's our
ships
job to
space?
break shit.
Yes,
Because
right.
we break it and they fix it and then they make more shit for us to break.
That's right. That we are the reason why this game is going to be. Because unlike a doesn't have a really obnoxiously, hey, let's see if we can do this. Let's put these things together. Let's see how many little ships we can cram in a bigger ship, and then how many bigger ships we can cram in an even bigger ship. How many physics grids can you have? What do you call that? Russian nesting doll physics grids.
oh yeah, we're gonna
Yes.
definitely be doing that too.
Yeah, Zap, I see right there. You got timed out because the phrase "I win" is banned from here. And when you hit 600 I winner, the bot read it I space win, and it snapped you right there. That's why.
Rip.
It did it again.
Well, he said it again.
Yeah, he said it again. Now he's just triggering it.
I'm not helping.
I know you're not.
Toy's a troll.
He is. The troll is real, and he's among us.
I respect that, though.
Oh, yes. So, what was your impressions of the facial rig stuff, Drones? Like the whole face wear.
If it were any other game at all, I would say it was gimmicky as hell. Because it's Star Citizen. I love it. It's going to be a must-have. Like, you're going to want it. My problem is can you imagine running into a streamer's character in-game while they're live streaming talking to chat?
Well, there's going to have to be a disable button. And that's the thing for me.
I sure as hell hope so.
I personally will only enable it when I'm using comm system or something like that. That would be kind of cool because then you can see the motion and all that stuff. Or I want to be able to freeze the face so I can go like this.
Yep.
And just freeze it. And then I'll be walking around the whole time talking with like my mouth.
You shouldn't make that face. It'll stick like that.
There you go.
And then we'll show them that it does.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hell yeah. No, I like it.
Toy, stop. Or I'm going to have to ban you because you're going to get people in trouble. You are.
Toygrubin.
Good God.
I think they broke it.
Last time I banned Toy, though, or I purged him, it blocked him and took his mod away. 'Cause it does the whole thing. It rips all the rights. Then Toy cried for a while. It's like, oh, I can't do anything in chat now. So.
We called this face rig stuff so long ago, though.
Well, but did you guys see that Board Gamer video where he actually went back to, what was that, 2013 or something like that?
Yeah.
Showed them saying, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah,
So
in
they
the Wingman's
basically
hangar.
announced-
Yeah.
Yeah, Wingman's hangar.
Yep.
They said, this is exactly what we're going to do. Now, back then, it was really rudimentary. So what they have now is, so when people, because Board was also trying to nip it in the butt, this whole, it's feature creep in the bud, right? Because no.
Well,
this was something they talked about back a year after the game was announced.
yeah,
So,
but even outside of that, 100% he's accurate there. But even outside of that, again, this is something they gave the Faceware company the opportunity to be integrated in the game, make a partnership with them, and do all that stuff.
Yep.
So Faceware did all this. They already had the rigs because they already did the mocap.
Yes.
So they did it.
Yep.
And I have it on very good authority. It only took Sean Tracy 1 day to integrate it with one other engineer. That's how long it took. So there's your development dollars at Creep. If they can add features that feature rich in a day by having another company do it, then I'm okay with that. But I just don't want to see them make bad mistakes on partnerships. And so far, it seems like they're making good decisions on what they're doing so far.
I will say I really did want to see a RSI joystick. I wanted.
I think it's too soon to do the joystick again. I really do. Because
Well, yeah.
I said
I
going
don't think-
into this,
I don't think they need to do it now, but I want it one
I
day.
was shocked. And I know that they probably gave the product spot, in the middle because they were having the problem. They were getting stuff on and they kind of stopped in between. But the fact that they had everything running in between setting up for the Idris battle and everything else, they did a, hey, look, we have another thing you can buy eventually, and it's this webcam. I think that kind of was a little bit of grinding my gears on that. I was like, yeah, you should do that as a end of the show thing maybe, or something like that. I don't know that you need to do it right there. And I was really surprised they even came at us with a product after last year's product, and that's why.
Wait, it wasn't last year's. That was the year before, wasn't it? Like in 2015.
But I think they showed it last year.
They had
Didn't they?
Didn't
they show it at Gamescom last year? They had the
unveiling
prototype
thing.
there, and then everything went to
Yeah.
hell in a handbasket, I think, at the end of that. Because they had one of the
I think-
I'll have to go back and look because
Yeah.
I don't remember them showing the prototype at last year's. I thought it was the year before.
It might have
that
been
they had it in,
2015.
they had it in the plex. It was 2015. They had it in the plexiglass box
Mhm.
I remember
because
might- it
last
might
year I
have
don't
been.
remember them showing any products, and it was all kind of everybody was asking questions. What about the controllers? And they were like, nope, we don't know, nope,
Yeah,
because Logitech had already been bought by that time.
yeah.
or
bought.
no,
Yeah, they bought.
Cytec had already been bought by Logitech by
Correct.
that time, and it was like nothing was being spoken of. So,
Yeah.
but it's been 2 years since they made that. Well, and they've
Yeah.
had some issues with partnerships.
Yeah, and somebody trolled Chris there at the presentation. It was said something about that, and he's like, "No, we choose better partners now." So he did kind of. I was surprised he responded to that, but he did. He did give a little shout.
Oh, it's I like Chris for that. I like the fact that he's pretty much oblivious to people's trolling him, and he's just like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, we're doing it." It's not like just really.
Yeah,
It is way, way, way too early in this development cycle for any kind of peripheral for this game. They need to
Yeah.
wait until they're, 6 months from launch
yeah.
to come out with something.
Or show us the tech, and then deliver some of the tech, and say, "Hey, but it will work with our product better than your regular webcam," or something like that. That would be a good selling point at that point. But
So
you
you're
know.
saying it's too early for me to pitch my full body Star Citizen RSI suit.
Yes. Yes.
Every build they come out with, they change all the keys. I mean, don't come out with anything until you're locked down with what you're going to use
Absolutely.
in the game.
Absolutely. Yes. And if you guys haven't forgot, Noobifier is giving away the ship he hates. The 600i. That has his glowing rant review. You should go check out his channel and definitely see what's
I've
going on
gotta
with
go
that.
Watch that.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
have
No,
to
don't
watch
miss
that.
his thing. We watched it on the air yesterday. It was pretty good. And he's shared all the same viewpoints I
sounds
had on
awesome.
that for sure. So it's definitely the way I feel about it. So
It's a pretty ship, though.
God, it's pretty.
it's pretty. And if you want
It's
a pretty
gorgeous.
ship, that's the whole justification to me. If somebody comes to me and says, "Mitauchi, I bought it because it looks sexy. I don't give a shit what it does." I'm like, I'm with you, bro.
Really good question.
I'm with them 100%. If that's why they bought it, that's
Yeah.
fine. But the problem is, I've run into too many people since they showed that ship that are still, even after the Q&A, trying to argue it into some role that's better than a Carrack. And I'm like,
No.
that falls on deaf ears with me. That's not going to happen. If you want it because you want it, that's awesome. I'm not going to argue with
Let's
you.
just
That's
stop
great.
the carrot comparison.
Yeah. So there's no
Awesome.
comparison there.
Guys,
You know.
don't do that.
But if you want it because it's
but-
shiny, awesome.
It's a pretty ship, so I have to ask the question: why haven't we seen the Space Kitten version on Twitter yet?
Oh my God.
Where's that one?
Wow.
Why has nobody
I think
rendered
the only
that shit out?
the only thing
Come
I
on.
like about it is
Come on.
that every crew member gets a stateroom. I like that.
It's
Not
fancy.
you're not in a community room with a bunch of bunk beds. No, you get your own stateroom. So that's cool.
There you go, drones. You can have one of those. I'll give you one of those. There's your mesh up.
Wrong ship.
Yeah, that's your high quality. High quality. No, but again, it's one of these things, and I have a feeling this is not the end of this type of stuff, and I don't think it should be. The problem I have with the whole thing is, and what makes a lot of the anti-Star Citizen haters out there kind of get some traction during this time of the year isn't because of the crashing, isn't because of the demo. It's because of two things. First off, they showed a webcam that basically had plastic over a regular webcam. We take a Logitech looking webcam, like it might have a chip, it might have different tech. We don't see the specs in that, but it doesn't look very good. That's for sure. Whatever they put over the top of it was like, eh. And then they roll out the 600i and they make the excellent commercial. Ship looks sexy as hell. They drop it on, so they're like, oh, this is the answer to everything. This is the BMW. This is the amazing ship. And then you get a Q&A next week where I wonder how many people refunded it and melted that thing. I think a lot. A lot. And it's because maybe not that there's a problem with the ship, but maybe we need more information about the ship before they click the you can buy it right now button on it. And I just think that might be a better way to present it, because otherwise it does feel a little bit like, hey,
they should do
there you go.
Yeah, Mitauchi, that's a great idea. In fact, this is what I think that CIG might want to look into, like announce it like they have with commercials.
Oh yeah,
still not available to buy. Then they go through and do the Q&As, still not available to buy. Now, after the Q&As, if you still want to buy it, boom, the purchase button comes up.
I think there could be a happy medium there. I agree with you. I'd like to see them do an initial Q&A first, and then a post-launch Q&A. I think that would be the
okay, I can see that.
Yeah, or maybe a fact sheet.
Some of the base stuff out, but there's still some.
How about even a fact sheet? Because I don't like it rolling out with a shiny commercial. Just give me a fact sheet, and then we can ask questions. Yep. So at least there's a fact sheet. Hey, this ship, where does it fit in the line of, like, you call it an explorer ship? Where does it state? Where's the main, like, where would this fall? Because they obviously have an internal idea of exactly where it fits in the whole, ecosystem of ships, right?
Yep.
They understand the purpose and stuff. And I think they'd have I don't think that they'd have less sales. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they won't have as many sales. Bullshit. They have never put out a ship that didn't sell. They just would have more happy customers because they'd have more people that understood what they're getting and buying it, rather than trying to justify what they spent or deciding to melt it and then get something else. So, and I know they're not going to be able to answer predeterminedly everything about the ship because they aren't going to know what we're going to ask. But there's some basics, and I'll give them to you. Cargo space, functionality, weapon systems, how big are shields, how far does it go, how many crew is on it, does it have a toilet?
How fast is it?
Yeah. They're basic things that we all know. If they had that, like, a standardized 10-fact punch sheet on it, I think that would help. Because we all know the website's not accurate. We know that they don't put enough information on there, or it's not going to be 100% because they don't have the new website up there. But my question... How about the
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, how about the question about the engines, right? They're all like, oh, well, it's faster than the Constellation.
Yes.
They're like, but the Constellation engines are bigger. How is it faster? Oh, well, the website information on the Constellation isn't right. Like, well, does that mean the Constellation engines are getting smaller?
Yeah,
that's exactly what
Or does it mean that the 600i is, even as you put it out brand new, is it incorrect? Are the engines on the 600i getting bigger?
I feel like there's the system works like this at CIG a lot of times. I think a lot of times they make adjustments to the stats to justify the awesome look of what they've made. Like, they've made all this stuff, and then they're like, oh, shit.
I think that's true.
They're right. Those engines are pretty effing big on the Connies, and these are smaller engines, but they're faster? Well, yeah, I don't know. We'll come up with it later. Let's talk about it on Monday.
That's it. We're going to nerf the Connie, man. We're nerfing the Connie.
Don't start that. Don't start that.
Hey, everybody, they're nerfing the Connie. Run to your keyboards now.
Yeah.
But see, we theoried that this ship, the way it's turned out exactly how we thought it was going to turn out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just another model of the Constellation. And I hope they come out with another manufacturer that comes out with another,
And I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Ship.
That class of ships, so they're competitors. I'm good with that.
Because if you look at it like this, okay, you have all the newbie ships that you're going to be out of within the first 10 hours or so. You'll be upgrading to the medium ships.
A lot of people will.
But jumping from those medium ships to the big large ships is going to take a long time. So they're going to need a whole fodder of medium-sized ships for people.
Yep.
Now those 4 or 5
a lot of teamwork
person ships.
A lot of orgs will get in the medium ships pretty fast.
I do not see, like they said, okay, but it's a luxury. Therefore, that justifies the $400 price tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Look at the Phoenix. The Phoenix is the same way.
But again,
it's the luxury version of the Connies.
Yeah.
How much did that cost? $350, right?
I don't remember.
No, the Phoenix was only $275, I think. It was the Carrack that's $350.
Yeah.
The Carrack was $350 for sure.
So I know that the Aquila, that's $275, and then I think the Phoenix, the luxury version, which only went on sale, it was $350. Yeah, yep, $350.
Okay.
Dude, it just says $350. So, and this is double the, it's the same length.
And this is $50. What's that?
But you're adding so much more inside, and it's the luxury ship.
Yeah.
You're adding all that space inside.
I don't have any problem with the price they put on anything. And I'll just go ahead and say that. I don't care about all that stuff because it's kind of like what Nubithfire said in his video talking about, like, luxury is not really a justification in his eyes on the ship or the pricing or anything like that, nor should it be. But CIG can charge whatever they want for your pledge dollars to help back the game for any ship they want. It's your choice not to buy it if you don't want to.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But like you said, the information that came out was so little.
Yeah, it was very vague.
And they made out the exploration capabilities to be something that they weren't. Because it's not even as good as the Aquila.
But that's the thing. I don't know if they really did.
See, we had the same discussion with what's his name when the turtle ship came out. You thought it was going to be the tank of all ships.
Oh, yes. With Commander Shepard. Because when the Terrapin came out, before we had information, again, standard rollout, the way CIG does it, they brought it out and all this stuff, and the stats page was kind of, just like what we're questioning the engines, like the contention between like what the Constellation and what the 600i have. They had a little thing in there that made it sound like the turret was interchangeable with possibly a cannon. And because they wrote that, because the two docks were different, and it was CIG's mistake, he thought that this thing was heavily armored, it had low signature, so therefore he could kind of stealth it, and it had a main gun cannon that would sit on top of it like a tank ship. And that proved not to be the case. And CIG said, oh yeah, it's not interchangeable, it's fixed and all this stuff. And Commander Shepard was pretty livid about it. To be honest, to be fair, it was. I didn't believe it would ever be like a tank cannon necessarily anyway. I thought it was like, that's kind of messed up. Let's see what the Q&A does. And the Q&A kind of straightened it all out, just like what the Q&A did here. But again, I think it's a matter of getting some of those things in there and getting them straightened out a little bit earlier with basic information before the questions happen, get a fact sheet up. I would be fine with them selling it even immediately after the show, as long as they have the fact sheet on the ship up. And I don't know why they don't stand on stage, right? They go through the whole show and all that stuff, and when they want to present their swag, like the webcams and all that stuff, well, let's look at the 600i detail. These are the features. Boom, 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 boom. This is exactly what it is. And let people draw their own comparisons in. You don't have to say, oh, this thing sucks compared to a Carrack, but you can say, we know these are the size of the engines. It's going to be faster than most of the other size class ships of this type. It's going to have this type of crew complement. It's going to have these things, and give some basic facts about it like that. And I think it would probably soften the blow for people.
Yeah.
So, because we all know, especially in an event like that, we get all hype. That's just how it is. And so we're going to be like, oh, what else you got? You got Star Citizen can openers for $25? Give me 2. People just open up their wallets and they want to help out, and they love the swag and all the air stuff. But it's the same way that I think that's smart, the way we downplay the game, the Space Bros and a lot of the redacted members do. When people come up and they ask us, "Hey, should I buy this game?" I'm like, "Well, what do you want out of the game? What don't you know? Do you have questions? I'll answer them." But I'm not just going to tell somebody, "Yeah, run up and swipe your credit card and buy the biggest damn ship you can in Star Citizen," because I don't want bitter vets before the game even comes out. I want people to know what they're getting and make their own adult decision what to do with their money, and then they won't be crybabies on the forums everywhere as much. Because
I mean, like you said, though, as long as they give a bit more information.
Yes. Absolutely.
And because the brochure, yes, we did read into it, but that's because they didn't give us squat for information. So they say, "Oh, get ready to, if you want to explore in style." And
to be fair to the regular users who bought this, though, and I say, hey, it's kind of all this stuff. But to be fair, they do kind of point in a direction where it makes it sound magnificent on everything they sell, right? Everything's the end all be all of the ships usually. And usually more dollars translates to more features until they drop one word. And this is what every person watching should tell every other Star Citizen they know. The minute CIG says the word luxury, all bets are off. It doesn't matter if it costs $1 million. Alien too. Alien or luxury. Anytime the aesthetic of the ship is alien or luxury in their phrasing.
There's a third word. A third word. Third phrase. Uniquely numbered. Throw that in there. Throw that in there and it's mine.
That is the variation ships.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even get me started.
You just have to be very careful about it, and a lot of times you can justify certain aesthetic changes and all that stuff, but when it comes to luxury or alien, for sure, it's going to be a lot more expensive, but they also make it sound like, because it's the rarity of it as well, they're supposed to not sell it as much and all this. I don't believe that this is going to fall in this category. As far as even what they say, I think the reason it's going to be rare is because people are going to find just having something shiny useless in that regard for that much money. I mean, I'll buy one in game because I want it for my collection, but spending real dollars for it, I don't know. Buy some more game packages and give them to your friends rather than waste money on that. Yeah.
I need a planet called Risa, and then I'll just park my ship around it.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. The only reason they'll be rare is because people will melt them and not have them. So that's kind of how that goes. But yeah. So we are a little bit ahead of schedule, actually. So we're going to go through a little bit quickly of some of the breakdowns and review real quick. I got a couple things here to watch for this next week. The burn down obviously ended with a total of, they actually put in the document that they said 94 must fix issues.
Right.
But, yeah, whatever, here or there. It'll be different come next week. Yeah, that was
They had last week that it was 67 marked, but they said it was 68. So
Yeah, but because they still work beyond when they film, right? They film it all by usually Wednesday, and then we see it on Thursday, and then there's 2 more full days of Thursday and Friday they work through, and we don't know what happens during that. So that's always the thing. So we got a current total of, from what we know last week and between then and today, I think in between 90 and 94 issues. They know they're going to be keep grinding along on all that stuff. They said the quantum travel turns experience is a current sprint to see if interacting with 2.0 along with the cockpit experience is to expected quality. So they went heavy into working on the turret aspect of the bugs and challenges this past week. And last we heard, it's up for review, so it'll be interesting to see what they come back with about that, because hopefully between now and next ATV, we'll find out how that review went, because I think that's a very critical aspect of multiplayer in this game, because many ships rely on the fact that somebody's in the turrets to make it a multiplayer ship. If you're flying in a Retaliator, there is literally fuck all else to do but be in a turret or drive the ship. I mean, I guess you can go back to that one shield station that's in the middle of the ship, but other than that, there's really no reason to have more than 2 people on the whole ship. So, until the turrets work. So I think that's really important to watch. The mission system status is really close. Apparently they have a couple blockers. I don't know if it's blockers from their department or somebody else's. I got a feeling there's kind of some of this stuff going on, this guy's got to get done and this guy's got to get done. No, this guy's got to get done going on right now. because I think everybody's kind of stepping on each other a little bit trying to get shit done. But hopefully they'll get through it and get that resolved. And other than that, it's just working on regular bugs like what we saw with Eckhart and all that stuff. So, yeah. I would highly doubt turrets will be perfect for 3.0. I hope they make a great step forward, though.
Well, I mean, they've already said they've adjusted them. We just need to see where they're at.
Yeah, so, we need to test and break them and see what's going on with them. And the other aspect that is a have to fix in my book is they need to make it so you cannot glitch into the turret to access a ship from the outside anymore.
Yep.
Oh, come on, man. Don't take that away from me.
Well, they're trying to put locks on the ships. Wouldn't that be stupid to have a lock on your ship and you can still get in through the turret? I mean, that's like...
Well, yeah, but I like doing that to people.
Yeah. No more. We're going to nerf drones.
Damn it, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting nerfed again?
Nerfed again. Double nerfed. Double nerfed.
I quit.
All right. So, guys, if you have any questions, make sure you're putting them into the doc. It looks like we've amassed only about 4 or 5. And we're
sitting on the dock of the bay.
Watching the race roll out.
Start asking questions, people.
So,
guys are...
getting questions. It is your opportunity for a $5 piece of hanger flare there to ask the best questions per Dr. Drone's judgment. So make sure you...
terrible fucking judgment.
Well,
so,
it's going to go that way.
Shh, don't tell him that.
Yeah, it's going to go that way.
He has amazing judgment. You guys are going to be...
amazing judgment. Yeah,
that's right.
And also, again, make sure you're following... Make sure you're following all the channels here. So that way you qualify for both a $10 gift card should you be drawn from that entry, or the beautiful question answer. Because wouldn't that be embarrassing if you picked your question and you weren't following his channel? That would be so bad. Follow his channel.
Well, I'm going to be checking that.
Yeah, just chill. He'll pre-check now. He's like, well, that was a good question, but F that guy. He's not even following. So
yeah, he did follow.
And then for all you guys right here with Space Bros, we have... I just put the question link for you guys to read their drones and stuff inside the stream team Discord, so you'll be able to pull that up. All right. So let's move on to questions, and then we'll pull the drawing here at the end of the show. So Zudoxis asks, he says, let's say an M50 pilot exits his ship and EVAs to a 600i. Only one person in the 600. And they both get into bed in the 600i, save and log out. Do you think the M50 will still be there when the M50 pilot logs back in?
Maybe, but maybe the 600i won't.
Well, I don't think ships despawn now. Once you're at that stage.
It'll be there unless I see it.
Yeah. It's true.
If I see it, it won't be there. Trust me.
I think it'll just float out there because once it's an occupied ship and a person logs off now, even in 2.63, as long as I don't recall the ship, it stays in the game as far as I know. It doesn't disappear until they blow it up.
Didn't they say that your ship will, if there's nobody else around, that it will, like if you get into the bed and log out, after a timer, it will despawn. It will disappear.
So as long as nobody else sees the ship.
As long as nobody's around, then the ship will despawn. So the M50, because it's not on a, maybe it will despawn when the ship that the bed you're in despawns. I don't know. And if you respawn in the game, but the you don't own the 600i, what happens then? The 600i is not coming back into the game because the owner's not coming back into the game.
Well, and that's an important question. If you go to sleep in somebody's ship and everybody else goes to sleep and the ship owner doesn't come back in to the game, does the ship respawn right where it is? Or does it gone and you're just wake up on a planet? I think they said that you wake up on a planet.
They may put you in the closest... what they call those, the outposts with the beds.
Yeah.
What do they call those ones? Survival outposts?
Yeah.
So they'll probably make you spawn there.
They did.
Some of the ships would autopilot back to the nearest station or something like that.
I don't know if they're going to do that anymore, though.
No, so they said that is a mechanic they want eventually, but I don't think they're going to do that right away. I think that's a pretty difficult mechanic to do too.
Because they're afraid of people using it as an exploit to get back. And then they also said they didn't know, like, if everybody's asleep, the ship shouldn't be able to drive itself.
Yeah.
Because they aren't going to have AI
and if you're logged
function
off,
if you're there. If you're not, if your crew will not do work for you if you're not present. That's why you also can't send ships like on cargo missions, because otherwise guys would set desto when they're halfway a destination. They'd just sit there and like, oh, I'm going to go to bed, and the AI would take the ship the rest of the way for them, you know, and that's no bueno, because they'd exploit that. And then the log ski mechanics would also be a problem, because people would log off, and then if you wake up in the nearest outpost and your ship's there, then it's like it was a shortcut to get there. Say there was a blockade around a space station, you know that's the closest bed. You just log out, everybody. The owner doesn't log in. Everybody who's a crew logs in, and boom, they're already in the space station. They got around the blockade. That's not good mechanics either way. But we're going to run into all these situations the whole time. Going through the beginnings of EVE development, I've learned all these tricks, and they fixed them all the time in EVE, because we used every method we could to break the game there too. Which, as we will for this, because it's important in development to do that before it gets real, serious, you know.
I'm super hyped to break a lot of shit.
I am too. I am too.
Sorry, Sig.
I do it all the time.
Well, they love it when we do. As long as we report it like we do. We report it, document it, and put it out there. So that I know Toy's just like, I'm not telling nobody this shit. I'm going to keep this secret for myself. And I'm going
Toy's like, I found a new way to troll and nobody's going to know.
That's right. That's right. All right. Next question is TWR Cry F says, how will they reconcile the arcade style time to kill that'll probably be wanted for Squadron 42 with CR's stated goal for the PU of owning ships that you take care of?
Well, Squadron 42 is a single-player game. You got to expect ships to get blown up. Besides the fact that you're using, you know, you're going to be on an Idris using their ships,
right?
So.
Also, if you, I don't know if you're in the verse right now, but have you ever fought against the pirates, the AI in the verse versus another player?
Yeah.
TTK against a good pilot. I mean, I've sat there for 10 minutes dogfighting a single pilot, where with the AI, it's like pop.
Yeah, but they got them all the way cranked down.
Right, but it takes me like 4 seconds to defeat an AI and 10 minutes to defeat. It's somewhere in between. There will be a harder, more difficult AI to deal with. This right now is the Kythera AI.
Yeah,
dumb as hell.
It is,
right?
And that's why they wanted it.
Subsumption is coming in. Subsumption is coming in.
Yeah,
and your time to kill, well, it's going to be based on, do you pick easy mode, or do you pick hard? Because remember, it's a single player game. You get to choose what mode, right?
Yeah. When you go like extreme,
if you pick featherweight total wuss mode,
yeah, you'll probably get what we fight now. And if you pick extreme, you'll probably like see, hey, I see something on, and you're dead. Like you'll see something on radar. It's like
just like that.
Just like that. It's like railguns. I didn't know they had freaking railguns on the Van Duel ships. That'd be really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really feel like the time to kill is necessarily an arcade style, because usually when I think of arcade style actually is instant death on stuff, and then you kill multitudes of stuff and respawn is the way I look at it.
Yep.
It's a little bit, but I guess it depends on how you define it from your own personal experiences. Time to kill takes a little while even for people right now. If you look at the FPS even, right? Like FPS, like I have to empty, usually if I don't hit somebody in the head, I have to drop half a mag into somebody to kill them. I mean, it's long time to kills on everything. And ships, as we know, are just going to increase in HP and durability, because they don't want them just to go pop, pop, pop. Like you fight a cutlass now, a pirate cutlass, it's tanky as shit because they put it in now the way they want them. It's the same HP as what you fly.
The thing that I think is, that I hope that they implement, that is not in right now, is that it's either blow up the ship or I mean, it's like there is no in between. There's no disabling it.
No.
we know that they want the disable mechanic.
Yes.
So time to kill, does that really matter when you're not trying to kill them? You're trying to disable them. You want to knock out their power plants so you can board them. I mean, what's the purpose of killing everything that you come across? There is no purpose unless it's like Vandal or AI,
or unless they deserve it,
like me.
And remember, you're going to want to be careful, because if you do kill them, that's a mark on you. If you disable them, it's not necessarily a mark on you.
Or it's a minor mark, because there's going to be degrees of, oh shit, you're a bad guy. Just like in EVE Online and the other games, if you pod somebody in EVE, and that means because everybody, when their ship explodes, since your ship's your avatar, you're a little pod left over when your ship pops. If you kill that pod in EVE Online, you can go negative pirate really, really quick. If you just destroyed their ship, you just get minor marks. So if you double tap them,
since you're going to use the EVE analogy, let's talk about wormhole type space where there's nobody to see what just happened. So I'm going to kill you anyway.
Exactly. If it's
there
unmonitored,
are going to be places where it's just lawless. You do what you want. You kill them and you don't take a mark.
And it seems like
there are there because I'll be there.
Yeah, there's a lot more black and white inside Star Citizen than what EVE. EVE has varying levels of security, and it seems like I'll be interested to see how they interface that with the criminality and reputation system in Star Citizen, or if it's just truly it's monitored or unmonitored. And you can flip switches on and off on certain ones, but some are just permanently unmonitored, some are always unmonitored, and then the middle zones, like the DMZs, if you will, are like those satellite comm links where you could turn it on monitored or to turn it off, so you have influence on how to do it. That would make it a little bit interesting, like a border DMZ zone where some pirates might get by and turn them off, and you think it's good, and then you're like, oh yeah, there's no backup here. But we'll see how they do it. But that's the thing, when you go out and you take those risky jobs, you're gonna be risking yourself a little bit more. So, So it'll be interesting. But my prediction is what they'll do is they're going to raise hull strength on medium-sized ships ridiculous, but they're going to, the subsystems, the engines, and all the other parts and weapon systems, they're going to make where they're at or lesser. So you're going to do a little bit more damage like an Elite Dangerous, to where if you hit the ship, be it with missiles or guns, you have a chance to destroy the engines or destroy the weapon systems, but maybe it takes so much more damage to actually pop the ship. You'd have to sit there and concentrate on that after it's disabled, if that's your intended purpose.
I'm looking forward to the possibility of upgrading targeting computers in ships, so your secondary pilot might be able to control the missiles of your ship. Like you might be able to have more granular control, so he could sit there and go, I'm going to target their power plant and then shoot missiles at the power plant specifically to knock certain. I'm going to target shields, targeted shields, Because because that they've said that they want that, right?
Yes.
So if you have the Rio seat sitting there targeting he's in control of the missiles, targeting. Okay, I'm targeting. Shields targeted. Okay, fire. Missiles are going right to that. Hopefully, they can knock out the shields, then knock out the power plant. Now you have a ship that is ripe for the picking.
But it also gives the pilot the opportunity to see that coming in there and then be able to turn his ship. And be able to try to stop you from hitting those systems, because it's got to be a counter.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think that's a great idea, and that's why I say if they just raise the hull strength of almost everything across the board, maybe not fighters, maybe a little bit of fighters, but not a lot, but more give you the opportunity to be damaged and escape, I think that's better. And I know that every Drake pilot in the entire industry would applaud, because even though they can't eject, if they can get disabled a little bit before, maybe they have a chance to try to run out of the cockpit or run out of the cutlass or something and escape,
Right. Well, I mean, if you're talking about the
grab my shotty and wait for them to get out to salvage.
If you're talking the Buccaneer, that one's going to be the Herald. Those are going to be trick. The Herald, not as much as the Buccaneer. Buccaneer is a tricky one. If you see your ship is disabled enough and it's starting to, a power plant starting to overload, you might just have to get out.
Yeah.
However, Herald may have repair possibilities inside the ship. You can see pipes in there, so there may be somewhere that you can actually stop an
especially if
overload
you got
happening.
a co-pilot, right? Like, because sometimes you would in the system to help do that.
And definitely the Cutlass, there's going to be the opportunity, and they've already said this, that if your ship is hit and disabled and is starting to, cooler is offline, and so the power plant's starting to go critical, you have a chance to go back there, repair that coolant line, and stop that from happening. And so repairs during battle, especially in multi-crew ships, is going to be really important. And we've already seen them showing at least some like basic functionality in that, but we also know that the ships, we can see those parts in the ships. They just now have to give us access to those parts in the ships.
Yeah. I think the thing is like you're pointing out with the Herald and the Buck and those type of things. Those pretty much are they're super fast. I think it's going to be more of a try to escape if you're in trouble thing. I don't think you're really going to be able to have the opportunity to slow the ship and get out of those. But the Cutlass, absolutely, and other Drake ships, I would hope that those are the ones they mainly focus on, kind of increasing the size and doing those things. I think that's just the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next question is, let's see who said it. I got to scroll back and forth. Sorry, guys.
Zap 500?
Yep, Zap 500.
Zap.
Says, have CIG said anything about upgrading ships like GTA style, where you could tune cars and such? For SE, they'd have ships like upgraded shields, engines, armor. I know guns can be changed out, but other than that, at the moment, two of the same ships are pretty similar. That's a great question.
Yes.
Particle collider.
Toy wants to answer that.
Yeah.
Particle collider.
Yes.
That's why I want an Endeavor so bad.
I have an Endeavor, and I believe I did buy a particle collider. So I have that module. But yeah, we're going to be able to overclock all of these modules, is what they've said. So shields will be able to be overclocked. Coolers will be able to be overclocked. Weapons will be able to be overclocked. But it will also shorten their life. It will also increase the chance that they will have a failure.
Yes, just like overclocking anything.
Right, and they will it'll make it so that they might not be, depending on how far you overclock it, they might not be able to be insured.
Yeah.
So,
but even
but you'll have really powerful systems. So,
but even more than that, for people that might not have been around in the game as much yet, you can buy different types of shields. You can buy different types of basic equipment too. It's not just overclocking everything. You can buy all these other things. And yeah, right now it's mostly just weapons, but you can buy different size shields even now for most ships. And then eventually you'll be able to buy, there's all kinds of hard points. If you go into your actual ship interface and you look at it, there's actually all kinds of snap points inside your hangar where you can see all these different subsystems that you can change out, the types of missiles you use, the type of cooler, the type of all this stuff. They're just, all those components are not available and online for every ship yet. And there's even more coming.
If you would go into, like, if you have the game, just go into Arena Commander, go into the ship configuration, and then go look at each one of the ships that you own, and it'll show you an entire list of all the things you can change. It's just weapons and missile hardpoints right now. Gimbals, weapons, and missile hardpoints, and missiles right now in the stuff that you can change out. But that's pretty good. There's a big variety of stuff that you can put on all those ships. And here's the beauty. You can use Rec to go rent any weapon that is on the website, and then use those, put them on your ship, and go out into the verse. You don't have to just go into Arena Commander. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah,
so you can test that stuff out.
Yeah, these systems are putting in, and of course they don't have it yet, but there's going to be stuff in there for, lowest minimum damage, highest maximum damage, heat,
longest durability,
random modifier for durability, heat, all these different components, and that's what these particle colliders are going to be used for.
Yep.
So,
think about if you're in an Eclipse, or if you're in a Hornet. What's the
Ghost? Or
the Ghost? Yeah, the Hornet Ghost. Or you're in a ship that you don't want to have a high EM or IR signature. You want to be stealthy. Well, you'll need to go and get specific weapons for that. Maybe you can keep these, like get the lowest IR and EM signatures and then overclock it in such a way that it gets a little bit more powerful, but that it breaks much more easily. The durability goes right to crap, but you have a more powerful weapon with still low IR and EM signatures for your stealth ship. So,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, and I know we keep focusing on the Super Collider, but I think some people don't even have the game or know how the component system thing works in there. So there are base components and stuff and coolers and everything else that will fully modify your ship to a certain degree, as far as like what Toy was referencing, like ranges of like damage a little bit, ranges and different complements of type of range with those guns or weapons, different types of shields. But you also have the balancing act of you only have so much power grid. You might have to increase the size of your power stuff. Or sometimes there might be, I don't know if they're ever going to change to where you have a limited amount of CPU. They had that in Eve, but I don't think they're going to do that yet. But only certain aspects are going to be able to be maintained by the internal systems of that whole before it forces you into a new ship. Like if you want to add the biggest, baddest guns, the problem is you fire those guns off one time, you might lose all your power. And it can happen even right now in the game. There's certain guns that will snap onto ships, and if you fire them too much, it'll basically make your engines cut out, and you have to reboot your ship. So,
well, look at the Idris. When it fires that railgun,
yes,
the shields go down, and they stay down for almost
for
2 minutes.
a minute and a half.
Yep.
Yeah, a minute and a half. So you better be sure what you're aiming at.
Absolutely.
Can I rant for 1 second on that Idris railgun?
Sure.
Yep.
Because while I love it, they should have definitely upped the ante on that. The way it ramps up, it should take time to ramp up. And as it's ramping up, that ship should start shaking when that thing's ready to fire. And the whole front of that ship should be glowing, and then it should fire off a bolt like a freaking can and not like a little laser beam. Pew, pew. I hated that. It could have done so much better on that Idris laser.
I was blinded by the explosion, so I was like, the end
It'll
of the
be
explosion was amazing.
it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that they are going to iterate on, and they are going to really, Toy, that they're probably going to have like this electrical field start building up around the barrel of the thing, and it's gonna smoke, and you see little lightning crackles around there, and then all of a sudden, deep down in there, this growing light, and all of a sudden, it's just gonna streak out the front of there, and you're just gonna see this thing with just bright like sparks shooting off of it and trailing sparks behind as it flies towards its and it was kind of that, but it was not as not as fantastic.
Like SpaceBro folds out a railgun's pretty much invisible though. But this is
right.
This is Star Citizen. So
I don't know. I've seen the railguns that they're putting on the big ships now. Those things ramp up pretty damn good. Yeah,
those things spit
it's plasma.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, but basically what you see is like what's behind me coming out of that railgun.
Yeah, I think you will see the initial concussion effect. You might not see the projectile like what SpaceBro was saying, but I think all the effect of everything building up and actually shooting it is what you see on a railgun. You don't see the actual round go. But just for aesthetics and all that stuff, they have to make the round somewhat visible inside the game, or it's not fun. It's like, I'm getting hit by invisible bullets, like what happens to me in Star Marine every day. But yeah. So, next on our lovely list is, do you think the 600i will be better when they modulate it?
Maybe.
No, it's not going to be any different. There's a exploration version, there's a fancy version. That's it. That's their modularity. The only modularity is, instead of being 4 different ships like the Constellation is, it's one ship, and you can either have it fancy or exploration. That's your modularity. So, and I made Dr. Drones leave. Sorry.
Yeah. Kick Dr. Drones out of the game. It's like, you're out! Get out of here.
What's going on?
How many ships? How many ships are too many? Considering racing games
7.
like Gran Turismo and Forza Motorsports, I have around 700 to 100 or 1,200 cars, when only 10%, if not less, are what you are used. What do you think the limit on ships that CIG should have?
7,000.
I don't think there should be a limit.
Yeah, I don't either.
More the merrier.
You have to remember, all these ships you have to maintain. They do have degradation, and that's what we're talking to, like about the tuning of equipment, where you can use a super collider or you can use different types of parts. Some parts don't give you more power. It's not like all the racing games where it's just, this one's more powerful and this one's the best, or this one gives you better steering. There is also durability to consider, because components can blow while you're flying around just because they get old and overheated and stuff, and you have to deal with repairs. So many ships will have to carry extra components.
Will wear out
Yes.
over time, even if you're not even doing anything other than just, maybe flying from point A to point B. If you just let it sit there, it will gather dirt or dust. They've already said that, and it will wear out, but not, like you could have it sit there for months or even a year, but it'll be like close to breaking if you.
Yeah. Not in your hangar, but if it's out in space.
Not in your hangar, yeah. If it's out in space or on the surface of a planet or something like that.
The more different types of ships that we have, though, the more unique tactics we're going to find in our battles.
Yeah.
And I like that. I think that's a good thing all around. So you give people 1,000 choices, and maybe 10 or 15 emerge as like the top tactical contenders. You're still going to have all these other options that may work out situationally.
And they'll constantly change things.
from Eve how that works.
Yeah, because you'll also have tactics change, because from time to time they'll see a ship underused, and they might tune that. And then we develop a new tactic. It's like, there's a new feature on this one ship. We'll make you use it like this. And it doesn't only apply to combat. So the guy's interested in like mining and trading and all that stuff. If you have 15 different types of cargo ships, what that enables you to do is several things. Pirates, if there's only like 3 different types of main cargo ships that come through an area, they're just going to look for those on signatures and radar. But if you can mix it up and you can throw different looks at them, it's like, well, that could be cargo, or that could be a combat vessel, or all this. That's what adds that variation, so it makes people have to think. When you all have like 3 options and they just watch for those, and they just know, well, this one has this kind of jump range, this one usually will go this route. It really limits a pilot on what they can do, even from a industrial standpoint. So I think having more variety is good. Definitely.
I think just like our car manufacturers, they should have a whole slew of manufacturers, and all the manufacturers should have lines of ships, and most of those ships are overlapping each other, just like we saw now. The Origin is in the Connie line. They should have 4 or 5 more manufacturers that have Connie style ships. In that Connie line.
I would like to see RSI get a ship in the Freelancer line.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will.
And I want to see MISC get a ship in the Connie line, that size.
It would be neat. The only series we know that is totally feature complete as far as the classification of ships that they want to do for right now is Drake. They've said they aren't going to add any more Drake ships now. That line of ships is done until maybe
Damn it, I want one more. Just want one more.
No,
but also remember that CIG is doing a minimum of 12 brand new concept ship releases a year.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. The next question is, do you think at CitizenCon they will give us an actual release date for Squadron 42?
I know.
I just saw a video that said that CIG is tentatively thinking about releasing Squadron 42 before the end of the year. I don't see it myself, but
I think they'll give a release date. I think by CitizenCon they'll decide that it's not by the end of the year, but I think they'll give a release date.
I think they'll give a release season before they give it a date. They'll only do a very thing like spring 2018, maybe. I don't think they'll pin down a date until next year. I really don't. I just don't think they will.
I don't know. I mean, because
they just had an article also come out, though. Article just came out when we were talking about this before the show that said they are not guaranteeing they'll even show Squadron 42 at CitizenCon, which I thought was a really weird thing to say.
That you know why it's a weird thing to say?
Why?
Because it's too obvious. They're gonna show it, but they want to make it seem as if they're not gonna show it because they want it to seem as if it's a surprise.
I just
because
think
they've screwed up so many times.
I think Chris has been burnt so many times. That's why.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't.
He's been, and so they're like, well, what if we tell them? Oh, it's probably not going to come, and then
I think Chris should just say that on everything, not even trying to be like hiding or anything.
He's like a kid in a freaking.
He should say that.
He's so excited. You can see him.
I believe he's gone to some sort of like retraining camp, and they've like mentally broken him down now to where if Sandy asks him like where he wants to go for dinner and what time he'll be there, he's like, I don't know. We might be there at 7. I'm not going to commit. I'll just show up when I'm ready to. I think they're on that level now. I think they might have finally broken the man so he doesn't promise dates. I hope.
Well, I mean, a long time ago, we heard they had everything but the cinematics done.
Yeah.
Or at least white box. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're adding more stuff in and updating.
I would, and even if I was Chris and I just couldn't resist to give a date, I would make one of the other guys get on stage and say the date I want them to. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be from my mouth.
I mean, you're absolutely right. They're not going to say on September or December 12th it's going to be released. They're going to say we're going to try and get it out in December. We're going to try and get it out, in this month.
Spring 2018.
That would be amazing if they just dropped it at CitizenCon. Here it is.
The thing for me is if
There'd
they
be a lot of
if
pissed
they
off
go
people
to
at CitizenCon.
if they go to CitizenCon and they say spring 2018, which I don't think it'll even be then. I think it'll be later than that. But if they did say spring 2018, that would be the best decision CIG has ever made. Even though they have it done now, and you guys are going to hate me for saying this, because releasing it in spring means it puts back any worry for us about the development of their game because we were distracted by Squadron 42 for the whole beginning of the year. Their slowest time, all that stuff. You give it to us in October, half the people will be like, come January, be like, all right, that's cool. So what's going on with Star Citizen? The rest of us will play it for, ever. But half the people will be like, yeah, so what's up? And then that's their slow time from January all the way at least till May. And it's like, they shouldn't do that. They should drop it spring, maybe do like a late January, early February release, even if they got it done. Milk that shit for 3 months. And then give us regular updates through the Delta Patcher on 3.0, just seeding in some content. Come in hot with 3.1 right around the May time with lots of features. Don't just give us like minor.
Yeah.
Give us, some more fleshed out systems and hit May. Then you can hit your seasonal again. You can hit August for Gamescom, like a little bit of a feature drop, augmenting out 3.1. And then, fuck it, just go into the end of the season, maybe get 3.2. Maybe you see a mission pack expansion for Squadron 42 that's just got a few more missions in it or something. They could do that all the way till they go to the next chapter. They need 2 platforms to release releases content to keep us entertained.
Here's what I expect them to try to do before they do any mission packs or even start working on the next iteration of Squadron 42. I expect that within a year they'll try to do a squad mission battle thing that you can have, invite people to come into your game and have up to like 8 people come in and dogfight with you in missions you've already done. Because they've already said they wanted to do that, right?
Yeah, but they said no co-op. Now, if they come out and say there's co-op in the game now, that shit ain't coming out till next summer.
No, if they say that they're...
Yeah, no doubt.
See, I want them to put it out before they get co-op in. But the thing that they work on behind the scenes after the game's already out is a co-op update, right? DLC that's already paid for free, right? We just updated it.
I think they're not going to do co-op at all.
That would be better than a couple chapters.
I don't think they're going to do co-op at all. I really don't. I don't think they're going to do co-op at all. And to me, this is the one thing, if Chris Roberts ever watches my show, I want him to listen to this. Please, for the love of everybody out there, do not add more shit to Squadron 42.
Before you release it.
No. Don't add even after that if you don't want to. You can get some guys working some missions that maybe you dropped or something like that. Get that done. Focus on the next chapter with that team. because he's got 3 chapters he's going to do. There's no reason to stretch it out. If there's features that are just tech just coming online, say, hey, that'll be great for next chapter. Don't try to implement more tech into Squadron 42, because I swear to God, if they put faceware in Squadron 42, I'm going to write the biggest rant you've ever seen, because it's a single-player game! Who's going to see you talking in a single-player? They said they're putting every feature from Star Citizen supposed to be in there. I'm like, if they put faceware in that shit, I'm going to be like, so what? I can see me yell at myself in a mirror? Please don't, Chris. Please. I love you. But this is one thing he could say, this is good, and let's go with it and move on. Because, for God's sake, I don't know who lives through Squadron 42, but maybe you could get some of these actors back in the next chapter before they all fucking die. Because they're all pretty dated actors. They're great actors, but they're getting up there in age. So let's try to get the
spring chicken, mister.
Well,
I'd like talking about Gillian Anderson like that.
Well, I didn't call her out. Why you always got to aim at the girl? Why always got to aim at the girl, buddy? No, but I'm just saying. I think that's one thing.
He was calling out Mark Hamill.
I am calling out Mark Hamill. I love Mark Hamill, but come on now. I just really believe that I don't mind feature creep or call wherever you're in Star Citizen. I don't. As long as they get to the point where they have the regular content releases to where we can keep playing the game, they could extend this shit for 10 years as far as I'm concerned. I don't need a release date for Star Citizen. But for a single-player effing game, yes, you need to at some point say release date, especially when you already have it planned as a trilogy. I mean, don't feature creep on a trilogy. That's silly. The story's been written for 4 years. There's nothing else to add. Let's move on to chapter 2. That's what I say. All right. Next question. What kind of Squadron 42 info are you hoping to see in Squadron 42?
What?
I assume he means if they show Squadron 42. What kind of information?
Do we want to see at CitizenCon if they show Squadron 42? As little as possible. I mean, I want to see cool scenes. I want to see stuff that does not have to, like, outside scenes, not necessarily what I'm going to be experiencing in the game. It's a single-player game. I want to be almost completely surprised. When they said that the vertical slice was not going to be in the game release, that it was something separate that they could show us, this is how the game's going to be, I was happy about that. Because I don't want them to show anything that I'm going to go, oh, I've already seen this. I've already watched it 1,500 times,
Cyberwolf. Calling me out for hating on Mark Hamill. I'm not hating on Mark Hamill.
He is. That's what he gets.
Totally.
I love Luke, man. I grew up.
He's saying that Mark Hamill's really old.
Oh my god.
Nova Fire. Shh. There he is.
Easy. Yeah, I'm hoping to see not necessarily a release date. I would be happy with an epic 2-minute trailer. I really would. I don't need to see. I don't even care about a vertical slice, to be honest, guys. I really don't.
Would you guys like to see the Morrow tour done without any freaking jaggedy bugs or anything like that, and then maybe veer off and follow somebody mopping floors or something? You know what I mean? I would like to see them, because they said once the subsumption AI can do that, that's when the game's ready to release, right?
I'd be happy if they showed an epic trailer, maybe a little tech demo, something like that. I'd actually even love it. They said they dropped the whole Morrow tour as a part of the game. That way it'd be like, ooh, what happens when I start the game then? Because I don't know now. There's no aspect I know. You know what I mean? That kind of throw me for a loop. Like, ooh.
Well, I would like to see the Morrow tour again, and then at the end and say, this is, by the way, not part of the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we're giving you a little taste of this. But
it looks really cool.
I want to see just a glimpse of piloting using wing assistance. Like if you could actually, control your AI squad members like you have in every wing commander game to make sure that you could attack my target, those type of things. I'd want to see that's there just briefly, just boom. I'd like to see the transition to FPS, like maybe just a quick snap of a battle scene to where I can see me shooting at Van Duel and Van Duel shooting at me and rolling around and dodging stuff and and maybe some beautiful ship explosions and the majestic kingship floating over the top of me as I slowly die and perish from lack of oxygen. I'd be cool with all that. So, yep. No, his audio still goes up and down, but we're making manual adjustments for it.
That is really weird.
I don't know. Don't know on that one. All right.
Something's overdriven on my end, probably.
Possibly.
Did you, when you joined the chat, did you make sure to turn on audio off?
To turn what off?
The Zoom audio.
Oh, I don't know that I have the Zoom audio on.
Because it automatically pops up to have you join Zoom audio when you do that. It
says join audio conference.
And you just close that.
Join.
It might be trying to fight for your mic. It might be trying to fight into Zoom. I don't know, though. But I always just X that window with the audio thing on that, and then it's good.
All right. Well, that might be it, too, because that was open. I didn't join it. Yeah.
No idea. Let's see. Operation cost for ships and how to cover those costs in a luxury ship.
That's a good point.
You're not probably going to unless you're just really got good reputation and you're a great taxi driver, to be honest.
If you can afford a luxury ship, shell out the money.
Yeah. I think they're going to be more cost efficient than a cap, but yes.
Yeah, if you can afford a luxury ship, you probably are making hand over fist on other ships that you have in your fleet. So,
yeah. Yeah, they haven't talked about the viability of what VIP transport's going to be or any of that stuff yet. So we don't even know when that's actually going to come in the game. So I think most luxury ships are way down the pipeline anyway, but hopefully they offer at least enough missions and stuff for people to maintain the type of ship they bought for that purpose. The problem is we don't know the cost efficiency of things like an 890 Jump. And that's really the only luxury ship there is that is for VIP transport, other than I think a Starliner. One of the higher class Starliners has VIP rooms, I think, on it. But most people want that private super yacht like the 890 for the big dog stuff. The other issue you run into is I think most ships they'll even out efficiency except for capitals. I think capitals are going to be a money sink. And orgs like mine, we're going to have to find a way to fund them. Do enough work to hopefully keep them going, and do it through the benevolence and generosity of our membership.
Pledge drives.
Yeah, that's to be honest, org taxes and stuff like that. Like have an internal economy inside your organization to keep them going and keep them fueled. Because it's not every day you're going to find people who are like, oh yeah, I'll give you like $1 billion UEC to bring your Idris and your Bengal over here and protect my area, because people aren't going to spend that kind of money for it. Just aren't. At least not initially. It'll be a long time into the ecosystem for that stuff happens.
Years.
Possibly. Let's see. What color is the Nox Q? Well, obviously it's brushed silver. That was a silly question.
We know it's white.
Moving on.
Green.
Toy is verifiably racist against bikes. It's definitely brushed silver.
It's white.
See?
Everybody knows it's white. We've seen the picture.
Yeah, brushed silver. What is the bare minimum do you expect to see in the Citizen Con for Squadron 42? Wow, everybody's really on that one.
We just got out of Gamescom.
Yeah, anything... Well, obviously these questions were asked a little bit earlier, too, so they don't know each other asked them. Sure. But just quick summary, anything between a really nice commercial and a full vertical slice. I do not expect a date, but Toy does.
I hope, and I hate to say this, I hope they have the initial Spectrum voice communications they start showing off. That would be nice. The voice comms.
Isn't that what they showed in Gamescom?
Yeah, but into Spectrum. Kind of like Discord.
Yeah, show like the features hierarchy, how it's going to work and function that way.
I mean, they didn't actually show anyone connecting.
No, and they didn't show anything, what they were using or anything. I mean, they didn't show any of that. That's true. You know, the one thing nobody wanted to see was like a huge Spectrum slot inside Gamescom, and they didn't. So that, there you go. Now everybody wants to see the Spectrum. Like, oh, if it does all that, the VoIP and the FOIP and the all this stuff. Now, can we see what Spectrum does? When are we going to see the secret base in Conan? I assume that's directed to you, Toy.
You know, I have not been streaming the past few days just because of that. So I am sorry. Maybe I'll do we're inside the base, but I do have a lot of stream snipers, so I cannot show my way there or show you what's inside.
I'll log on and show you guys. I don't give a fuck. I'll tail one of them and be over there and be like, hey, this is secret
they can't
base.
got it, so
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Well, nobody in the server watches my channel. They don't need they don't even know who that guy is. So, is the Carrick's Medbay and repair shop counted as 2 of the 3 removable pods? That's
I don't think so.
We don't know yet.
I don't
The
think so, 'cause
medbay,
the
I think,
3
is
removable
permanent.
pods were down in the bottom, and then the med bay was up near the top of the carrick. So
I
I
think
don't
that I
think
remember
they're really-
reading that the repair bay is, but not the
Yeah.
med bay. The med
I think
bay
the med bay is
uh,
permanent. I don't know anything about the repair shop for sure. So I'd probably
Yeah.
side with Uber Nerd on that one. So more details to come. Do you like the idea of players fighting for control over certain outposts in a 3.x patch? Perhaps a group of players could get some sort of passive bonus for keeping control, a nice gameplay loop to have for player-owned bases.
Well, to be honest, I think that they've already got a very, very basic version of that with Korea. So
Yeah.
they could. You are fighting for control. You're keeping people from getting in there and hacking the system.
Yes.
You're keeping the bad guys out, or it's the bad guys in there allowing their friends to come in there and hack the system and
Mhm.
keeping out the and you get a mission in the game if the guards are there, you get a mission to go and kill them,
Yes.
right? And if the bad guys are in there, you get a mission as a guard to go and guard the place. So there already is something kind of like that they could probably bring into control these series of outposts here and make sure that the Nine Tails don't take them over. And then the Nine Tails can be like, hey, go get these over here so that we have a place to store our loot.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So
And
that could come.
They also said that they were going to be sending multiple people on the same mission, and
Right.
that's going to cause conflict. So,
Well, it's intended to. It's intended to
Yeah.
push you into emergent gameplay and more than likely PvP. I mean, they said, and this is the funny thing, for all the people who are like, hey, I don't want to fight, I'm just going to explore. They literally said at Gamescom, they're going to send multiple people to go find the same exploration items, same mission sets, same other things. So if you think you're going to avoid PvP by being a trader or being an explorer, and you're going to take missions to go get higher end loot, it is going to push you in that direction. You're going to have, and I hope they have a mission classification system that kind of indicates that to people through the dialogue or however they do it. Be like, hey, I'm sending this out wide, and whoever gets it done is going to get paid. Because then you'll know through that dialogue that it is a open contract. And then in green zones or safer monitored space, I hope they also kind of use the dialogue going, oh, well, you're here and I like you, so I'm just going to give this contract to you, so it's only you going after it. So that way you have these range of missions, so newer players aren't having to fight to do it, but people that want the higher end rewards, they make it competitive. And I want to have both, so that way I have friends that first start playing the game, they can get used to it, and if they want to choose to avoid some PvP, they can do that by doing some lower end stuff while they learn. But you're not going to be able to avoid PvP through mechanics of the game. The other aspect of answering the question about Outpost, I am being the old Eve player. I'll keep referencing it because that's my main space game I played for a decade. I love the idea of having contention points like outposts and having things that you can occupy, not control necessarily, but occupy as an org is great. But I know for an absolute fact that unless it's changed from CR, he is never going to give you stat bonuses that are passive. He's never going to give you a passive benefit that is like, oh, you get this type of thing. It would have to be something, even if it was like a passive augmented thing, it would have to be something that would occur. Like maybe you control an outpost, so NPCs come there for trade, and maybe you get some of the money from that or something because you control the outpost. Or something of that nature that would be emergent. They would never say, you guys got 5% more hit points because you control the space. They'll never do that.
No, the controlling of the base is going to be for strategic purposes.
Correct.
You're going to want to control that base because it's in the middle of a trade route, or it's this or that. I mean, there's got to be in-game reasons. You know, why would a person control a fort at a pass if not to control access to the pass?
Yes, and lanes of traffic.
Right. So same thing is going to be for the bases in the game. You're not going to just go and control it so you can give all of your org members a bonus.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen.
And you can maybe even give your guys free gas, but you're going to have to pay for that gas. So it's technically not free.
Because you're going to have to sit in the same room with those people, and it's just going to woo.
Yep. But I would love it if you could put, you could be there, and then you could have AI crew occupy the outpost with you, but we know again you couldn't task them to do something without you there, so that means somebody would have to stay in that outpost. You could never like, oh, we'll just turn on all the defenses and walk away and then it's my outpost. No, they won't do that. So you have to consider all these things when you occupy areas, because it will take physical bodies to occupy them.
Now, to be fair, Aaron did say, now this was a while back when he was being interviewed about outposts, he was saying that eventually the idea is to let players and orgs build outposts.
Correct.
And have like shield generators, and they were even talking about some sort of
point defense.
Not just that, but a way to kind of obscure their signature, their EM or IR signature scanning. Right, so that you
cloaking,
can have a base down
like
there,
some sort of shield cloaking, not visual cloak, but
it's not visual cloaking.
Yeah.
So if you fly over it, you're gonna see it, but it is sensor cloaking. So they said that that's something that they're looking into, and they really want that to come in. But I mean, I think the question was pertaining to 3.x, and I think that
all that's beyond that.
Yeah, that's way beyond that. But the idea that we were talking about of controlling an outpost or a series of outposts may be able to come in the 3.x patch series, maybe in a 3.2 or 3.3, to help us to better see these, like maybe there'll be a couple of truck stops that are able to be contended and maybe taken over and run by an org or something like that.
Yeah, and the other thing you have to consider is any of these that would come up viable to do that, you would have to do it in unmonitored space, because if it's monitored space, the UEE would be dispatched to be like, hey, this group took over one of the truck stops or one of the main routes fares, and you'd have to deal with like carriers of NPCs coming at you and stuff. So it would have to be of that kind of nature. Or maybe you could bribe the UE to leave you alone, or maybe you could lease it from them, or something else emergent. But they're definitely not going to be able to let you just take over things and not regulate you in controlled space.
Right.
Let's see. You guys talked about face tracking and stuff, mentioning the CIG camera wants to sell. Anyone think it would be better to stick to the game making and leave the hardware for independent companies to do, which is exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. Camera makers would surely put on a better camera as their especially application really catches on, keep their focus on making the game working and not spread resources. Well, we already addressed that because they didn't use their resources to make it. They used a separate company to do all of that anyway. And all that software isn't technically theirs. The software is provided by this other company who did it. Yes, did they have the infancy of the software? Yes. They messed around with it, like we said, in 2013, but that, again, was the beginning of, like, face rig type stuff and all that. This software is been produced by this other company that they have now partnered with to put this on their system, and the camera, even the prototypes, is produced by the other company, where all they've done is kind of skinned over it. But they don't have really any R&D into this at this point, from my understanding. So, and obviously, if somebody has evidence to the contrary, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is from even internal company sources that they literally spent like a day integrating the software, much like some of the other stuff. They didn't build it.
Remember the switch from Crytek to Lumberyard? People were panicked about that. Oh my God, it's going to take forever. Day and a half.
Yeah, they didn't build Lumberyard. All they did was port to it.
Right, exactly.
Because it was built on the same core system of what they were already on.
Right.
Yeah.
So
there's a
lot of things that people have panicked about that it turned out to be not something to panic about. And the spaceware thing, it's being done by another company, and it's
that I don't even think they're paying them. To be honest with you,
and they also said. Now here's the thing. They also did say that you are going to be able to use other cameras. You know, it didn't say that it would be stuck on only the camera from them.
No,
they did indeed.
Yeah, so you could use all kinds of cameras. This camera
you can
would just be more
use a nice
for it.
$200 Logitech camera and probably get the same capabilities as the camera that they're going to sell.
Yeah. Yeah, there's supposed to be some augmented, better things about their camera. Those will come more to light. They've talked about them a little bit. They'll come more to light as we move on down the road towards that. But we'll see how much their camera is and all that stuff. But again, I think all they did was provide this newer company the opportunity to work with them. And they said, yeah, we'll prototype this for you. We'll bring it in there. Here's the software, all this stuff. And, you guys will be the launching platform to help us market it. And that's it. Yeah. So. Yep. I don't know. My camera does 60 FPS. It's
Ryzen, they actually said 60 FPS is what their model will do, but they said it will work with a 30 FPS camera. It's just a matter of it won't be as fluid, I guess,
right.
Is the way they describe
Probably a 30 FPS camera is not going to catch your eyes looking from side to side. 30 FPS camera is not going to catch the more nuanced lip and mouth movements.
Not unless you talk like this the entire time. Very animated and slow. So, yeah, but I wouldn't stress about it. I mean, really, this is the same thing with the joystick thing, except the joystick had negative results. The joystick thing, they found a company that really, was willing to work with them. Unfortunately, the reason that they were really willing to work with CIG is the fact they were going under, and they didn't really share that kind of model with what was happening to CIG. And then, lo and behold, they're not stable. They're falling apart, and there you go. But this company is on the opposite footing. They're new, so they want the opportunity to work with a big brand, big name that might have a full implication for their product. And boom, opportunity. So I think that was more the whole thing behind that. Let's see. After the release of 3.0 and the hype dies down, do you think you will be doing? What do you think you'll be doing on a regular basis, and what ships do you think you'll be using most often?
Well, in 3.0, we have cargo mechanic. That is the big one that's being introduced.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably be using Freelancer, Caterpillar, any number of my cargo ships, right? Constellation Aquila, which I have now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, moving cargo. That's going to be the big thing out there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Drones, how about you? What are you going to be doing?
I'm not much of a pilot, so I think I would probably be spending more time in the land vehicles, probably my Dragonflies, maybe playing with the Nox here and there, but, moving around the land, seeing what's going on. Like I said, I'm not looking to be a combat pilot. I'm looking to get into the medical side of things, and that's not out yet, so I will probably just play around on land and maybe the occasional cargo run just to see the mechanic.
Yeah. Medic with grenades, interesting. Toy.
We should have a
don't judge
SpaceBro cargo
off.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. No, SpaceBro cargo run where we're all some of us are flying point, some of us are protecting, making sure the cargo gets from point A. Yeah.
You know what I'd like to try?
What's that?
We all crew up in a Caterpillar and then just hit all of our quests. You know what I mean? And load up the cat.
Yeah.
And then, we can all turn in at once.
Like it's a minute mini carrier and all that stuff, kind of.
Yeah, because we can put all our ground vehicles in there.
Yeah.
land on the planet, go do our quest. Everybody load back up in the cat. Go to another moon if we have a quest on another moon to do that one, and then we all head back to wherever we got to head back to turn it in.
There you go. Yep, I think I'll be practicing doing what I wanted to do anyway. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to have currency trades between players in yet. So since no one's going to be able to pay me to protect or attack them, I'll probably just try varying methods of attacking and taking people's shit. And defending them randomly. Oh, that guy's in trouble. Let's defend him. Oh, that guy's not in trouble. Let's go attack him. Defend the weak. Steal from the strong. Be the Robin Hood of the verse. It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect. Or maybe we'll just charge people a portion of their cargo if they need backup and help. That'd be good. 10%. 10% of your cargo, sir. Let's see. Is the 300 series schedule listed for a redo? Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, it's not on the schedule that I saw. Where is it?
But it's on there somewhere.
No, but it's planned.
It's
Yeah.
planned.
Well, they've
no
said
dates.
it's planned, but
Yes.
it's not on the. If you go look at the schedule that they have right now, the Gantt chart that still exists.
For the moment.
For the moment, it's not on that chart, but
Yeah.
they do have it in their internal schedule that we can't see.
Yeah.
We just don't know when.
I would love to do a parody scene from Back to the Future and do a Marty McFly scene where shit's disappearing, because I feel like that's what's happening to the production schedule. It's like, oh crap, man, the dates are all going away.
God.
Oh, look, the bars are going away.
Get you to the future.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there goes the Gantt chart. Oh, Doc. It's like just going all
Gotta
that.
come out with a script for that. That would be hilarious.
It'd be good. Everything's disappearing. What's
Your
happening?
kids turn out fine, but you turn out to be an ass.
Squadron 42 was a hit, but
Yeah.
Starbury took a shit.
Yeah. Be great. Question for all these good-looking people. Well, shit. Next time, let me answer too. What is that you want to do in the verse? And what is the first thing you sexy people will do when 3.0 hits? I think we kind of went over that. I think the first thing's the thing we're going to be doing there. I don't think it's really going to change from when it gets hype and when it gets unhype for me. Because I do the same thing now. I go to Korea, kill people. I did that when I first started playing too, when it was available in 2.0, came online. It's just kind of I like doing a little bit of everything. And I just moderate to where I don't get de-hyped as much as some people, I guess. And I don't get super salty about stuff, because if I feel that way about it, I play some other stuff and I come back and play. I think it's self-management and self-control.
Yep.
You have to kind of do it. You guys know when you're a little bit burnt out and you want to play something else. And talking about the game for me is what keeps me going in the game. Yeah, is there anything really epic to do in the game after you played it for a year under the same build? Not really. But you guys coming on, just hanging out and watching me and everybody else is what makes us all excited about playing the game. Everybody here likes talking to people about what they're playing. I mean, that's why we do what we do. So as long as you guys are willing to watch and talk to us, we'll play it till probably our fingers fall off.
Yep.
That's just how it goes.
We definitely like hearing ourselves talk.
Yes. And we like it when you answer, so we know you hear us talking to you.
That's right.
And I want face rig in Squadron 42, so I can walk around with a mirror.
Oh my fuck.
Oh my god. I hate you.
Now he's gonna troll you.
He is. He's gonna do private
you should
YouTube
have never
videos
said that.
he's gonna make a whole video on YouTube going, watch, and the best feature of Squadron 42 is the fact I can look in this pocket mirror and see my mouth moving. My favorite feature of this game ever.
My screenshot folders.
And make sure you go over to Mitt's channel and let him know how awesome this feature is.
My God.
It's
we
coming.
go.
We know it.
So, what do you think, Matt? Do you think we'll see a day where we get this face cam for FOIP and they find a way to mix it with face rig so that instead of us streaming as us, we stream as our character playing the game?
Now that is something that I would like to be able to do, to be able to use the face cam, stream as my character from somewhere in the verse.
I
Hell
think
yeah.
it's coming.
This is
It's good.
Super Nerd reporting from the third binary system right here. Look, there's these
that
fancy-looking Twillick dancers behind me.
Yeah.
that might come into feature creep just a little, but I'm okay.
Oh, come on.
I think it will. I think it will. I think it will have. They already wanted to do like a news report in the verse, so I think this just builds on that. And this tech is going to be really what helps augment things like the Mako, right?
That's
The
why I
camera
have
ship
the
and stuff
Mako,
like
'cause
that.
I'm
This is what I
expecting-
think we'll see. Is if it starts going in that direction, there'll be a lot more from Amazon and Twitch on those.
Did you
fronts.
see the new
You know
Twitch
what I'm saying?
development thread? Not to go totally off track, but there was a new Twitch development note that went out there, and they're marketing the new screen interface stuff to where you click on your screen of what you're watching, and it will influence the games, not just with heat maps.
Yes.
But like you can vote up and down stuff, but you can interact. You could help people choose skill trees. You could help like actually click on destos and things. And it's targeting developers of games. It's not meant for us, the streamer, to really this marketing campaign. It's talking about, hey, put these aspects in your games, and then the audience watching your game for these streamers on Twitch will be able to interact with your game and the streamer through the screen.
I gotta tell you, with all the stuff that Twitch is doing along those lines recently, and all the extra things that they're doing, I'm actually kind of intrigued as to what's going to be left for TwitchCon. Like, what's going to be in that keynote?
Well, they said
I'm like super freaking hyped.
here's we can go at that after we're done with these questions, but
Yeah.
I am still waiting. They're supposed to make giftable subs, and they aren't going to release that. From what Ray told me, they aren't releasing that at TwitchCon or anything. But giftable subs are coming, and you guys
That
wait.
is so cool.
There will be a day that I can put subs on the wheel for tickets, and you guys can win subscriptions to my channel with ticket raffles for wheel spins, and that'll happen, and that'll be fat, because I can't wait to be able to do that. Because
that is cool.
double benefits, I get the sub, and it only costs me the amount of the sub to give to you, but really it's benefiting me back, so therefore it's half the price of a hanger flare.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. It's great.
And you get more emotes.
Yes. And a taste of awesomeness for a month for free. There you go. So let's see. When should it be acceptable to hide bugs under the rug instead of being methodical and understanding about how they just came out so they can be properly fixed? I want 3.0 ASAP, but I truly feel like having workarounds for bugs, especially in game development, usually comes back to bite you in the arse.
Somebody give that guy a hanger flare.
Yeah.
If Toy
that's a good
was
question.
choosing, that you got the wrong person choosing. If Toy was choosing, then you would have won right there with that. He wouldn't even read the rest of it.
It should never be. I mean, it depends on the bug, right?
So, I take kind of a mixed stance with it. I'm totally okay with covering up a bug for now, as long as the intent is to address it before final.
If it's just cosmetic, I'm fine with covering it up until you're getting close to final. But if it's something that breaks gameplay, it should never be covered up. It should always be fixed.
My mindset is the only time if it's a problem with gameplay, otherwise I agree with these guys, the only time it's a problem with gameplay where it's okay to cover it up for now is if they're bringing systems online in later builds that will address it anyway, and it would be a waste of resources to do right now.
Yeah, like the turret, like being able to clip into the turret to get into somebody else's ship.
Correct. And until that actually impacts other gameplay and all that stuff, which they've reached the point where it does now, that you need to address it. Because like now they wanted to add door locks. If they didn't add door locks, I'd be like,
why
worry about it? But now that they have door locks, it totally negates the whole gameplay of door locks if you can clip through the turret. I mean, it's like...
And then when they took the clipping out, they realized, well, now door locks might be OP, so they're going to have to allow breaching.
Yeah, and they're like, now you have breaching too. But yeah, so I mean...
But breaching is an actual physical act that you must take, and it will either succeed or fail.
Correct.
It's not like clipping. It's not like using a bug to get into the ship. It's actual gameplay to get into the ship. So
and
there you
I
go.
100% love that. That's great.
Yeah, me too.
Plus, you'll hear when they come in, right? 'Cause boom!
Right.
What the hell? It won't be.
I hope
sneak in.
I hope that it's not a boom. I hope it's more like a snap, like an electrical crack or something like that.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
you'll also have atmosphere leaking if it's an exterior hull breach, because
Right.
if you're in space, it's you'll be sitting there like having your coffee, and all of a sudden your Starbucks flies out of your hand. You're like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And it's like all the stuff's venting out. That'd be man. I'd be like, dude, you owe me $7. Come on, it's expensive Starbucks. Anyone know if CIG has thought to people that the plan on trying to get VR gear to play Star Citizen? Will face tracking have a way to adjust someone wearing a mask or a headpiece? Good questions.
Talked about it.
Good questions.
Won't matter. It won't matter because
Space
VR is coming down the road. By the time they even, that probably won't be an issue anymore because they'll be looking at that question as well.
Yeah.
I don't think VR is coming in anytime soon. I could 3 years at least.
And my problem is too, I feel like it's going to be an entire rework to do VR to the degree of what other games are. Like, I don't see you doing Star Trek Bridge Crew with Star Citizen because they don't have any hand controls. There's no hand controls. They'd have to make independent rigging movement of your arms like this all the time instead of just an animation with, you know what I mean? So I think unless you design that from the beginning, then it's a whole nother animation key. They're gonna have to go all the way down and do all that. Because
that's
I
what I'm
don't. They're
saying.
not rigged in the
I
model
think
that
the
way.
rigs. Well, if you've seen the rigs in the game, they are kind of rigged that way, but more from a visual standpoint. Like when they do the total performance capture.
Yeah.
They have rigged it that way. So the taking the software that tracks the performance capture and then just mimicking or moving that to hand controllers that you're holding, it's not as big as a jump as you might think. But I still don't think it's going to happen for at least 2 to 3 years because a lot of other stuff that has to come into the game.
Well, and let's just mention too, right now the present VR systems don't have the fidelity to even show what Star Citizen does. I mean, you wouldn't get that
Fidelity
kind of resolution.
drink.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You wouldn't get that resolution at all out of it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I personally, it's not a big enough deal that I give a shit about VR in the game. To be honest with you, I don't really care that much. Most VR makes me sick, and the minute that you have glasses and this whole uncomfortable situation I have, it's just not as fun.
Right.
And that's just me.
When they make a holodeck, let me know.
Yeah, there we go. I'll be into that. Do you think they will make more weapons that will be disruption or EMP types of weapons or signal scrambling for comms? Yes.
Yes.
I do.
They need to.
They've already mentioned that they are going to have EMP grenades.
Yep.
So
I think you'll have a whole
and
classification of
there's probably-
E-war weapons.
There's probably going to be an EMP like shotgun where you see people are using high tech weaponry and whatever, and you just aim around a corner and bam, and it takes out their
All their
blinds them,
HUDs and everything. It's
Yep.
like, oh,
Yep. So,
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
Yep. Curious with the nature of a lot of discussion tonight, it seems doubt or worry is their selling potential. In the game, in general, ships specifically... Oh, gosh. Hang on. Sorry, I got to click. And approaching a breaking point in a sense, people are beginning to pull back and settle into a wait-and-see attitude rather than jump in with both feet blindly anymore?
Maybe a little bit
maybe.
in terms of the sales of starter packages, but it still is, there's a lot of us out here, like all of us on this panel, and possibly you Evisceratus, who's asking the question, who pay too much attention.
Yeah.
So we have a glut of information coming our way. But there are a lot of people out there who come in, they see like me or Mitauchi or Drones or Toy or other people playing the game. They're like, oh, that's cool. I'll buy a package. And they go in and play it themselves. And the learning curve is so steep that they're not even paying attention to when 3.0
I actually
is
feel
coming.
like there's a lot more new people right now than there are
Yeah.
veterans, because the veterans know, they've been watching the development with us every week, and they know, it's a few weeks. It's a few weeks. It's not going to be tomorrow. When it's so close and they didn't give us much information, it's like, is it today? Is it today? Is it today? Is it today? And just all week long. Now that they've done this, I feel like all the hardcore backers have eased back a little bit. And I think it's given the opportunity for new players to step forward. I've seen more new players in chat than I ever have before. Not since like the hype of last year. There's been a lot of new
today,
players.
when I was streaming and I went into Area 18, there were new players that I hadn't seen before.
Absolutely. And they don't feel overwhelmed by all the vets.
No,
like
they're loving it. There's
a
a lot of people out there just loving it. So I don't think the people who don't pay attention as much are not as affected by the ups and downs that a lot of us see, or the people who are like consuming every bit of information that comes from CIG or from stream, right? So there is such a thing as consuming way too much information.
Not for me though. Not for me. Just for all you
not
guys.
For me either.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people are information averse, right? When they get too much information, then they get really anxious.
Exactly. And you're 100% right, Uber Nerd. That's what we were talking about earlier too. Some people, you have to look at things, and this isn't just Star Citizen. You have to take a positive tack on things, not to the point of deluding yourself, but to does it
speak
help
for yourself, Mitt?
Yeah. Well, but you don't. You can't approach everything with salt. You know, you can have your rants and stuff, and I do that too. I mean, we all get salty and stuff, but I don't want to live in that place as a person. I don't want to just sit there and be salty. It's not fun for you. I mean, why do that? So if something makes you adverse or makes you like a little more salty about the current state of development, step back from it a little bit. I mean, are you going to miss something? Probably not, because the minute shit happens, it's going to go boom, and like everybody's going to be like, "Holy crap! Look at that!"
You are not going to miss. You're not going to miss the launch of Squadron 2. I guarantee
you're not going to miss the
not
3.0 drop.
The 3.0 drop, and you're not going to. I mean, none of the big things that happen are going to be missed. And even if you missed, like you just realize, 3.0 is out, and it was a week after it happened. It's not like anything's going to happen in there that, oh my god, these people are all way ahead of me. Nah.
No, just tune in Thursdays on my show, and you're all caught up every week anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
and there's 5.5 or Fridays.
Yeah,
come to the SpaceBro show, and we'll tell you everything that's going on.
Yeah,
just ask a question.
There you go.
Exclamation point question.
Yep. Plural questions. But yes.
Oh, well.
I still don't know why it is questions, but I did that and we left it that way. But yeah, I think people, I don't feel like anybody's jumping blindly. I think the only people that jump blindly into stuff is usually when we get overhyped and we have money. It's burning a hole in our pocket. And if we didn't do that, we'd probably go around and spend it on something else. That's my opinion. That's the way, if I'm just like, oh, that's so cool, and I buy it anyway, that's the whole thing. It's not, there's no need for a ship. There's no like, oh, I gotta buy that or I'm gonna miss out. All right, kids, we're not eating this week. Because it's if you have some money and you really want it or you need it for something and you have the funds, that's when most people jump. I still want to be the naive perspective of believing people don't like go starving because they felt like they needed a 600i or something stupid. So I hope people are smart enough for that. Right now we have one holster on our hip and one pistol. Do you think we'll be able to have two holsters, one in each hip, and carry around two pistols? What are your thoughts on holsters in general? I think holsters look cool. I'd like to see different styles.
I want a holster here. I want a holster that'll be under my jacket that I can pull out.
I'm sure it'll be some kind of outlaw outfit that you have to wear to give you the option to give you the
crisscross bandolier under the arm holster so I can pull out the guns like this,
I just want really sexy holsters for females. That's what I want.
I will trade all the holsters and all the guns for a bandolier of grenades.
Oh, of course you would.
I'm just putting that out there.
Of course you would.
Come on, Sig, hook me up.
And I'd come up right behind you and I'd pull the one pin on the one you can't reach.
And I'd pull all the pins and give you a great big bear hug. That's what I'll do.
I'd make sure I'm good and lathered up for that big hug too. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Let's see. How do you think bounty hunting will work, especially thinking about non-lethal takedown? How will it work against ranged lethal weapons? Well, you're going to have to be fucking a badass. Yep. If somebody's shooting a machine gun at you and you got to take them down, stun them, don't fucking miss.
Yep.
I mean, just like real life, when police don't want to use lethal force against somebody and they got a kitchen knife or they got something else, they have to make a decision. Am I in immediate danger
Beanbag.
or do I need to beanbag rag this guy? You know, I mean, I think they're going to have
They also have, what is that, denial, area of denial, or, you know, those weapons today that you can use to incapacitate people from a distance.
Yes.
Now, you know, like they use microwave weapons. So maybe you'll have a microwave weapon on top of your Cyclone that will be able to incapacitate people.
I think microwaves are kind of semi-lethal, though. You're going to cook them.
Well, actually, the ones the military uses, they just penetrate the first layer of your skin.
First layer of your skin.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
they basically cause so much pain it incapacitates you because it basically just. But it's interesting. They also have ones that are sonic, so they could incorporate ideas like that into the game for bounty hunting. Right now, bounty hunting is probably going to remain very similar to what it is already.
Yeah,
kill the guy who's become a criminal and get paid.
Well, and they also mentioned, I think,
gravity grenades.
Gravity grenades. Those are cool. I've seen a lot of games use those where they float up and you're just like, you can't do anything for so many seconds.
In the list of grenades is gravity grenade.
Yeah.
What I'd like to see, and we haven't even seen any inkling of it yet, but is we've seen some of the takedowns with like knives and stuff. But I'd like to see a non-lethal takedown.
Yeah, like a sleeper hold or you know, something like that. That would be cool. I would like that too. Because let's say you're in a monitored area. Maybe I don't want to take that kind of rep hit. Maybe I don't, want to take a rep hit for murdering a guard. Maybe I want to just be able non-lethal, like knock him out or something like that, and then be able to continue in on the path. So,
well, we have prisoner transport ships. You know, the whatever they call it. I can't
Vulcan
remember
neck pinch them. That'd be good.
But I mean, so we have to have ways to grab people, non-lethally.
Yeah, stun guns too. But stun guns still can make a lot of noise too. So I'd still be able to neck hold them. That'd be cool. But the bounty hunting system too, I think they're still planning on making it so you go out of your body, right? Like if you're the bad guy who got captured, you aren't relegated to be stuck in a cell in an Avenger. You're you can choose to leave and then you just lose a life or something like that, and they take that NPC to prison or something of that nature. That's how they originally talked about it.
Right.
That's another point. It's a little off topic, but it's still Star Citizen. I was surprised when Chris did the interview with that one Russian kid that he said the Death of the Spaceman document still holds 100% accuracy for what they want to do with the game. I was a little bit shocked by that.
Why?
Mostly because some of the mechanics and the inherent discussion of what they had in that document, while there's still some areas that are vague and not fleshed out, there's certain things that I think are going to be really difficult to accomplish as far as, the respawn capabilities, the augments inside your body, because they've already backtracked on a little bit of that document there. We'd have to go through it, but they've backtracked on some of that in some of their ATV discussions. And I don't know. It just feels like there might be a little push-pull between the leadership and the dev team and Chris on that, maybe? Maybe. We'll have to see. That's something to watch.
Is that why? I mean, for example, the idea of permadeath is still...
Well, yeah. It's still there. But there's a lot of... I mean, we can go into it if we want, but I had to pull up the document. But there's a lot of idiosyncrasies on, the process of how it works. You lose rep. You're going to lose these things. You have to choose an error. You should be able to do varying things. You might be able to have body parts replaced and all that stuff and augmented to different degrees. There's certain aspects to it that I don't know if they're going to be able to fully do, considering they haven't done any aspect except the criminality system first iteration yet. So I don't know.
Dr. Drones, now you want to be in the medical profession. That's your that's your full driving kind of what's driving you in the verse you want it. Yeah.
I want my cutlass red and I want to go save.
Do you think that, because I was under the impression from what I had heard from a couple different interviews that what their goal is, that the player doctor will have the possibility, if they're skilled enough, to stop that downward tick towards death. Yes. That's the only way, that if you want to keep the character you're playing, make sure that you know a very highly skilled player doctor, because no NPC doctor will be able to stop you from going that tick mark down towards final death, right? And losing your rep.
Credit if that's where you're going.
Yeah.
What's that?
I take cash and credit if that's where you're going.
No, but so what I'm saying though is that all plays in a part, meaning they want to make death as unpleasant as possible without making it horribly trollish, right?
Yeah.
And they also want to say that the player doctor, there's a real reason to seek out doctors.
Absolutely.
Rather than say, screw it. If the player doctor and the NPC doctor can do exactly the same thing, screw the player doctors. I don't want to deal with that.
Which we hope they do across the board with all player professions, where the player has some inherent benefit of using the player over the NPC, even if it's a minor benefit. We really hope you rather go to a repair technician that's a player rather than just a repair shop or a station with drones that goes.
Yes.
Like you won't get as much
I hope
durability
that my
back.
Crucible, when I run my Crucible, that I can do a much better, if I get skilled. So it shouldn't be something that you can easily do, that all I have to do is do this series of hotkeys and I can do a better job than any in-game surgeon. No, I'd like to see it be skilled, even to the point of maybe you're using, like you could even set it up to use 2 joysticks to control like surgery. Yeah, or something like that, where you actually have to perform, reattach these nerves. Okay, now I'm reattaching these blood vessels. Crap, I reattached the artery to a blood vessel. Not good.
Oh, that's plumbing problem.
A vein in an artery, not good, right?
Yep.
So.
Yep, I hope they do go that way with it, and like some of the guys in chat said, like, oh well, it's like calling all channels for a doctor. I think it's going to go deeper than that. I think when you choose your crew, you're going to have to choose, like, oh, this guy's good at being a medical officer. We need him on our ship to go on this mission because this is really, really a bad deal, We need somebody there. And I don't want to just use an NPC.
So here's the thing, too. How do you know if they're any good? Well, maybe, here's the thing, that you will practice on, you also do medical work on NPCs. And if you do a really good job, your reputation will go up. If you screw up and kill them, your reputation will go down, right?
That's actually been discussed as part of the whole Spectrum integration, is that your history in a particular role will be documented.
Yep.
So
you'll be able to go check the Yelp for reviews on them.
Rescue people, they're going to review you.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. So
review
system would be really cool. Do you believe the 890 jump will be a part of the anniversary sale like it was last year? I'm going to say more than likely.
I'm going to say maybe, because it's on sale right now. You can get it in the $2,000 pack for with LTI, which you couldn't get last year. So it may be people melt a whole bunch of stuff, buy that pack, and then use those other ships with LTI just to CC you back to the ships that you had,
Could be.
I mean, right now, people who want the 890 jump, I mean, it's an $890 ship without LTI.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's what it was last year.
Yeah, and if they already have it without LTI or something like that because of some upgrade or something, maybe they'll melt that and get this pack or something. Or they'll
the 2K pack, if you had, like, for example, I could get it if I really wanted it. I don't. But you could then use all those LTI ships to upgrade to when the ship sale comes, because that all the other ships that you have, like a Reclaimer or an Endeavor or all these ships, if you have them, it's going to come around again. They're going to be on sale during the ship sale. So if you wanted to get the 890 jump with LTI, that would probably be the best way to do it at the moment. And that's why I'm saying I don't know if it'll be on sale. It might be on sale, but in limited numbers.
Yep. Just have to see.
I'm just going to go with yes. That's my answer.
There you go. If you're in a single seat ship and your ship breaks down, do you think you'll be able to bail out of the cockpit and EVA around the ship to repair it with some kind of tool that we can carry or ship for minor repairs? Yes.
Yes.
I believe it's called the paw tool. Is that right? I don't remember.
Multi-tool.
Yeah.
That's the paw tool.
Multi-pass.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For Squadron 42, do you think if they do, as you say, and they allow mods for Squadron 42 as an offline game, sort of like how they allow mods for XCOM 2 and Skyrim, that help could fill the time slot you said longer.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand what you're
Yeah.
trying to say.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if there will be mod packs. They want to do that. We already know that they want to be able to give us.
Is it an
that, but
online
probably
only
won't.
game?
What, Squadron 42?
Yeah.
No.
Well, you know how
You
some
will
single
down-
players are like,
You will download it and play it on your computer.
you know, some games though they require you to be linked into their game
Well, they-
launcher and stuff. So I wonder if they'll do
Right.
that. That's a good
right.
question, actually.
The game launcher, you know, the recent one that they showed where they said it's now able to manage several different games.
That's
That
why I
was-
wonder, because then you couldn't break the game as much because they could patch even Squadron 42 if they wanted for.
Right, but I don't think that. I think that if your internet was out, but you still had electricity, you'd be able to play Squad.
I would hope so. I would hope they wouldn't go that route like Origin, like you have to be on Origin to play our game, or else you're not playing it. So I want to be able to play in the dark with candles and a generator when my power goes out.
Yeah, me too.
With render to texture, do you think you'll be able to place security cameras inside or outside larger ships and use them using the IDA port system to monitor activity from the Moby while away from the ship outside the bridge? Maybe. They did show this camera drone, so I think technically it would be possible. I don't know if they'll want to do that for gameplay necessarily, but I could see them allowing that. Maybe making a gadget for your Star Marine or your military gear loadout that would be a monitored camera, like what they did in Splinter Cell and those things where you attach it to a wall or ship, but you got a limited viewpoint through your Moby. But I will say this, as much as that could be possible, and they might do that, you're not going to want to walk around looking at your TV cameras and your Moby glass because you're going to want to do stuff. So I think it's going to be more of a, like your alarm goes off if somebody messes with your ship while you're gone, where it's like beep, 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 beep. And then you look at it and it's like, oh, we're getting a hull breach on the ship. And then you'll be running back to your ship to try to, get back in it. I don't think it's going to be like, hey, stand there and watch a ship, because then you might as well left a guy inside of it the whole time. Because if you're in your Moby glass, you're totally deficient on doing anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. But at the end of the question, he says, or from the displays of a bridge. Now, that I think is an absolute necessity.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think there
exactly.
will be some camera views, in particular, the Mako drones, I think are going to be a thing.
I
So
think that
you're
in
gonna
bigger
have
ships,
Mako cameras that you're going to send out and watch from the bridge.
right?
Absolutely.
I think in the bigger ships like the Idris or the Javelin or other very large ships, you are going to have cameras in hallways, cameras in hangars, cameras in mess areas.
Yeah.
You're going to have cameras all over the place in those ships, and there will be a security station or a person who can have all of that stuff rendered to texture things looking, and so they'll be able to say, hey, there's some people running down hallway A7 or something.
And I think that's going to be more important than external cameras, because you can always tap F4 and look outside.
Yep.
And
So
I also think you're
internal
going to
cameras
have
are very
EMP grenades directly affect that stuff. So
Yes,
Yep.
I agree.
we're going to
Yep.
see that as a big thing.
Although they
So-
will be mildly shielded, so an EMP grenade
They'll
can
knock
take
it out for a
down
little bit.
and it'll come back up all by itself,
Yeah.
right? So, whereas certain aspects, like I'm hoping that enough EMP grenades in a particular area might make it so you have to go down and repair them by hand. It won't come back, But just one EMP grenade will take it out for a short amount of time, and then it will come back, self-heal or something like that.
100%. Okay, we'll start with Toy on this one. If you could ask one question to anyone at CIG, what would it be?
3.0 win.
Oh, shit. What a cop-out. Drones, how about you?
medical profession. When?
Oh, God. You guys with the win questions. Uber Nerd, how about you?
So how will we be able to have like full on houses in cities, houses and apartments that we'll be able to decorate, that we'll be able to, in high rise buildings? I mean, it would be great that we could go to a high rise building, all of us go up, and I would be on the 13th floor, and Mitauchi would be on the 70th floor, and Toy would be on the 28th floor, and we'd take elevators up, real elevators up and down in a building where we all rent apartments. That's the kind of thing that I would ask. Is that something they're planning on? Is that something that we can expect eventually in the game sometime? Because that would be awesome.
Yeah, we've discussed that on the show before, and I'm sure they would want to get that in, but
no, they want to
after release thing. That's a
I wouldn't mind that. I think that if they can manage to get all of the, let's just say 50 systems with all the planets and cities in for release, that would be
half
awesome.
the verse about.
Right.
Good.
Exactly.
I think my question, as everybody always knows, would be more detail about the reputation system. A little more diving into the impact of Death of the Spaceman regarding that, like what actual metrics are looking at for that. And, again, how you would lose rep, would actions be gradiated where you could actually, if you do a more severe action, you're going to lose more rep. Do they have two system polls like an Eve? Is it criminality versus rep? Maybe you can be really cool with a company, but maybe you've done bad shit, but the company doesn't care, but the law does. So the law is after you, but the company would still hire you because you're cool with them. Or vice versa. You've done really good shit, but this company does some black ops, black bag shit. So they don't want to hire you because they know you're a goody two-shoes based on your rep with this. Not that you're incapable of doing a job. I want to see that balance being like that. So that way it's not necessarily mutually exclusive. You could be both ways with certain entities or down both, but having more impact across the world. And then if you do bad shit, if I make the call, we get a contract for our Merc org and it's to kill Dr. Drones, even though he's minding his own business being a medical guy, I want to know, how do I recover that? Can I recover that rep? Is it all just you killed Dr. Drones, so you're an asshole for life? I mean, supposedly there should be a mechanic to recover.
If you kill Dr. Drones, you are immediately an asshole.
Well, then I'm already pegged that, buddy, because we've been down that road before.
Yo, unforgiven.
But true. No, I definitely, I just want to know those type of, maybe not even exact numbers, but what direction are they looking in that? I mean, how are they looking at those systems? Because every time it's even been brought up, it is, hey, yeah, we're going to address that later. But for me, as a leader of an organization, that's pretty important and inherent to not only my ship purchases, how I drive my org, who I recruit, and what the overall intention and purpose of the org is. There's a lot of aspects and dynamics in that will impact that. Like in Eve, we had to, if we did a job, if it was in that darker side of the shade of gray and it was illegal to some degree, we knew we had to allocate a week to recover that by going and doing good guy missions or, harvesting pirates and constantly killing those guys to get our rep back up. So
harvesting their organs.
Oh, if you could, that would be a great way to make money.
That would be so awesome.
That would be. Then we'd have a reason to have drones on the ship too. It's all right, buddy, we need more kidneys. Let's get them.
Repo man.
Break out the ice. Icing them down.
Yeah, there we go. We've got big bathtubs for it. But yeah, that'd be my one question. It would probably spiral off into 50 questions, but yes.
That's the use for the 600i, because it has all those different rooms with all their different, all their different bathtubs.
And it looks so white and clean, nobody would suspect all that dirty shit's going down on it.
You're just harvesting people's organs. It's the organ.
Would you like to ride on my 600i? It's really nice, and it has an ice bath in the back. Next question. Do you think at some point Star Citizen will have interactive destructible things and environments to give you a sneaky and creative way to kill people or screw around with it in environments? What would you like to see along those lines?
Being able to remove CO2 scrubbers so that maybe if they're not paying attention to their atmosphere, because they've already said that we're going to have to pay attention to atmospheres, whether it is so CO2 scrubbers in the ship, being able to sneak, maybe I was able to stow away on board. Maybe I have a suit that they have in the game that allows you to maybe not be detected on a bigger ship. And then you go and you start taking out their CO2 scrubbers, and then you got a mask on. You wait for them to start getting sleep. If they don't figure it out, you got a big ship.
There you go.
So, yeah. What do you think, Jones?
Am I going to find creative ways to kill people? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I'm not going to tell you what they are now. But
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
already-
Give up all my
God,
tricks.
man.
Yeah.
Pump helium into their system so that they're all starting.
Just know in advance.
Hey,
that-
Captain, I don't know. I
sorry.
feel kind of funny. That'd be great. That'd be great. Toy, how about you?
I want to position a gray cat over the door, so when somebody comes in and opens, it falls on them and crushes them.
It's like the super extreme bucket of water over the door trick.
That's exactly right.
Extreme. The thing is, I'm fine with
I agree,
with
great.
screwing around with people and messing with the environments, but I know like they aren't going to make the ground destructible, right? They're going to make like maybe elements of the ground, trees, objects, different things destructible, but they aren't going to make it like battlefield destructible environment where you're going to have craters and all that. They've already said that because they aren't going to
Grab onto something heavy, shoot out the window in a space station in space, and watch things fly out the freaking window. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they showed in that video, right? If somebody's not holding on to something, maybe they're not prepared for it. They go out the window. You're like,
Yeah.
Yay, I win.
That'd be interesting.
Right?
Absolutely.
So,
Venting a station is a valid tactic.
yes.
As long as it's
venting a
ventable.
room.
As long as it's
Venting a
ventable.
room in the station
There you
is
go.
a valid tactic.
Yeah, you would
right?
think
What's that?
security
The whole
doors would
fucking
come down and kind of like occupy
Well,
that
yeah.
one room.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the security doors, I think there will be, a security system. You'd have to knock out the entire system to prevent that.
They
but-
might even have shutters over the windows, so even if you manage to break the glass, it'd be like boom, like right down real quick. Why do you think we are seeing fewer and fewer pieces of merchandise being sold from RSI webpage, and what would you like to see other than what we already have, what they have already sold? I'd like to see, more good T-shirts, because there's like 2 that I think are decent, maybe 3. I'd like to see collectibles. I'd want to see why don't they have models of ships? Like really, like
or hat.
hats would be good
They
still, but
change all the
I
time.
want a misk. I have a misk hat, okay, but
Yeah.
it's not official, right? It's not
Yeah.
from CIG. I want a Drake hat, a misk hat, an Origin hat. You know what?
yeah.
I mean,
And why don't they have a line of just all the shirts with just the companies on them? All the different companies,
Yes.
like different shirts. Like you could sport your RSI, you could sport your Drake, you can do all those. There's so much merchandising capability right there. I don't know why they just do that.
Makes no sense.
But
Because
they're-
they don't
I
have any
want-
good. I mean, they're already just drop shipping this stuff from China.
Yeah, that's ridiculous too.
They need to partner with a company and I'm not saying it has to be in the USA. It could be in Germany or somewhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, they need to partner with a.
Their merchandising
Company
sucks.
to
There's
do
no
that.
way to
Yeah,
cut
it's
that in
horrible.
a nice way.
Why
It's-
would they keep ordering stuff from China, shipping it? It
Because
doesn't make any
they're
sense.
not set up for this. It's all this is early. It's too early for that stuff.
But
That stuff
but
is
yeah,
gonna come
it's
with the
okay
game.
to develop a webcam and a joystick.
Yeah, but because
Well,
they have another company
Webcam
doing it
and
for them.
kind of a-
Well, then hire another company. There's plenty of merchandising companies. Have them do it
Yeah.
and charge more stuff for the things. I mean,
I sell a freaking bacon T-shirt for God's sakes, and I'm just an individual.
Yeah.
Okay. So come on,
Yeah.
they could do that. They could, like Mitt said, they could partner up with somebody that already does that stuff.
Yeah,
You
they don't
get
have to
all
do it
these-
all. Focus on making the
They have
game.
the
Have other
designs.
people do it.
They already have the freaking designs.
Yeah.
That's all they need to do.
And as for, I think there was a couple guys saying like, well, they're going to change the models a lot of times, so that's why they don't want to sell them. Bullshit. They've already sold like some things that like the spaceman little dude and all the other stuff. They completely changed the models on that. And other game
think
companies
that-
sold models too. And
The logos, the
Yeah.
logos, the MISC logo is not going to change.
Nope.
Change. The Drake logo is not going to change. Okay, so
I would
I
totally
think that it
buy
would
an
be
Envolt
safe
shirt.
for them to have a shirt or cup or
Mhm.
like just I would buy a Drake. I would have a MISC.
the mouse
coffee
pads
cup.
were a great seller for them. I mean, those
Yeah.
type of things they're great. They don't have to go complicated. Just
Yeah,
you know,
could be
slap
real
some
simple.
logos on some shit and let's get it out there. I'd love to
buy
give
that
away
crap
some
in
merch.
China.
I'd buy extra merch to give away on the show.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
If they had drop
sure.
shipping capability, I'd buy a lot of merch because then they'd just ship from them to you guys. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be done there. I know I'm shopping it right now for the TwitchCon and everything else. There's a lot of options.
Yep.
So you just have to, the problem is you have to pass that cost on to your customer. In my deal, I just shoulder all the burden and hope it's worth it. Let's see. What's to stop from me sending all my cash and assets to an alt character to avoid the interference attacks before battle, just before I die? Well, I'll tell you why in a second after I read the second part of the question. Also, if tax evasion becomes a thing, what's stopping me from taking what's owed to an org and sending it to an alt? Because if you exchange large amount of monies between people, there is a gift tax, just like in real life. If you give somebody a huge, and Chris went into detail on this, if I give Toy $1 million, gift tax. I have to pay taxes to give him $1 million. It's the way it works.
I'd still take it.
I know he would. But so you won't be able to. You can flip it back and forth, but you're going to pay yourself to pay yourself. In other words, so you can't just freely exchange money.
It's going to be probably, and they've already said. I think they said that it's going to be the same amount. The gift tax and or the death tax is going to be basically the same.
Yeah.
So it's really not going to make.
It's unavoidable.
It's unavoidable. You can't avoid it. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know how to avoid it? Hire drones to fix you up instead of dying.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't
And
die.
they're also making it so there's a lot of elements that you're not really going to be able to. The contract things, like if you don't pay the other guy, what happens is, from what I understand, and this is what a lot of games do with contracts, say you hire my organization to go out and do a hit. Well, if we accept your contract and you say, okay, that's cool, that money goes into stasis. It's like the bank holding it, like a third-party AI.
It's called escrow.
Yep.
Yeah, escrow.
Yep.
So it goes into escrow, so therefore you wouldn't have access to take the money back unless,
Yep.
you know, I do that. We'd have to basically come to terms where I failed the mission or didn't meet the terms. You'd have to say, nope, you didn't meet the terms, and then the money would have to come back to you. And then there's a written record that you're doing that. So more than likely, it would be one of these things with a review state of doing that, and then we would hunt you down and murder you, and then you'd have to pay the death tax anyway.
Yep.
So, you know, your choice. Your choice. But I know Overwatch always makes it down. We require down payments on our projects anyway, so that's part of the reason people can't avoid it. Down payment, or we don't leave the dock. Let's see. Do you think there will be a way to execute someone to prevent them being resurrected? Say a pirate killed your dad. Oh my God, you guys in these situations, and you want to make sure he stays dead when you get to him. Yes, I think you will.
I don't think you'll be able to permanently kill them. I mean,
You'll be able to take their life, though.
Yeah, you'll be able to kill them. But remember, in the death of the spaceman, now they didn't say how many lives you have, but basically the way it's going to be, they will be dead. You can't sit there and keep stabbing the corpse and take away each of their other lives. It ain't going to happen, right? They'll be dead. They'll have to be resurrected.
You can keep stabbing the corpse just for amusement.
Yes.
Just for giggles, right? But that's not going to do you any good to get the
Yeah,
result.
might
that
get
you're
you locked
talking
up
about.
by somebody, but yeah.
Right. But you can then go hunt them down again once they're resurrected and doing whatever.
Uh-oh. I think we lost your audio.
Mine?
Yep.
Now it's back again. Like the whole end of that sentence was like nothing.
Oh,
That was weird, but you're back now.
weird.
That
And
was
I'm also
weird.
I'm seeing some delay on my side as well.
I don't know.
So, yeah,
Yep.
very odd.
But yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to impact their other lives without doing it again, and that's if you know who they are.
Right.
Because after they lose so many, right, they're on an air then. They only have so many chances on that life. So I think you'd still be able to know who they are. That'd be interesting. I wonder if that'd work if you just decided you had a big enough bounty where you'd like died and you passed on to an heir. Would they still be able to identify that you are the person who was the person before you were? Food for thought. All right. Last question. Was it ever mentioned if we could track biologicals, EM, radiation, etc. on the interiors of the ship you're piloting? particular multi-man chips. I know you can track those externally with certain systems, but the systems are not online, so I don't know. I don't know if you'd be able to track all that stuff. I don't know. And that was our final question for the evening. We still got Drone still has to choose a winner on that, and while he's contemplating, unless he already has one.
I don't have to contemplate. I'm ready.
You're ready on that? Okay.
Nice.
Well, who's going to be the lucky
ready,
winner?
But I've verified that the person is following everybody. So
Okay, good.
It's Veclor. I like the render to texture question.
There you go. All right, so Veclor, congratulations. You, sir.
The security cameras inside of your ship. That's a good question.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was good. That was definitely good. All right, let me find in my list and I'll send him a quick mail on that. And then, guys, if you this is your last chance, if you haven't entered the other raffle with exclamation mark Space Bros, be sure to do that.
Can you imagine somebody just wanting to do that?
What?
They're like, hey, what do you do in the game? Oh, you know, I play Star Citizen. Well, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm a security guard for an address. I sit in front of a monitor all day watching.
Yeah.
I sit at a desk.
I eat donuts and watch TVs monitors all day long. Why? What do you do?
Oh, now how about that for Inception, right? I sit at a desk in real life watching a TV or a monitor of me sitting at a desk watching monitors.
There you go.
Oh my God.
And handle.
And I eat donuts,
Yeah.
as does my character in game.
There you go. And you both spilled powder sugar on your shirt at the exact same time when you're taking bites with VR.
That's right. Awesome. And in that second, the actual virtual reality that we're living in switches us.
There you go. And then you have your Tron moment. And you're like, what just happened? All right. So, with that amazing final answer and question selection, let's get ready to do this riffle raffle, guys. Oh, and Bang Chow, before you leave tonight, I was hoping maybe to bend your ear about some more artwork, too, because you did some good stuff. So we'll see about that. Need more art. More art, people! More SpaceBro art. Alright, let's close this thing down. We got 97 viewers entered. So, awesome sauce. Again, make sure you're following everybody. If you're not, good luck. Anyway, but you're not going to like us in a minute if you aren't following. And the winner of the $10 gift card is... Boop. Looks like it's Counterculture 24. And Counterculture is currently offline. They are a sub on my channel, but as long as they are following all you guys, that will be good. So double check. Let me know if we're going to have to reroll 7 times tonight.
How do you spell counterculture? Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Nope, counterculture is not following my channel. I don't think.
So,
But if counterculture was offline all night, yeah, they wouldn't have known.
Well, they didn't get auto-entered.
They didn't?
Nope.
Oh.
he's not following.
He's been following, is not following.
Nope, they must have just entered in the beginning and didn't follow everybody, unfortunately. All right, let's go ahead.
Checking that thrace.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need some music for that. When somebody's
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
We can just do it natural like that, you know?
Yeah, that's even more. That's more like ha ha.
Yeah. And next,
Condone this behavior.
Oh.
Tut Tut. Tut Tut should be.
Is following Jibbery. Following me, following Toy, following Uber Nerd.
There we go.
I assume because they're here, they're
What?
following Mitauchi.
Well, yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're a gold
Yep,
sub mine.
right there.
Yep.
Excellent. Tut
Yep,
Tut.
following everybody.
Congratulations,
1 week and
Tut
1
Tut.
day.
Yeah,
Fantastico.
perfect. Let's do this thing. All right. So, guys, that's awesome sauce. All that, and we didn't go terribly late, so that's good. And then if you hang out a minute, we will end up doing a raidage on somebody in the true SpaceBro fashion. But be sure to tune in to everybody. When are you all streaming next? Toy, you go first. When are you streaming next?
I was hoping to stream later tonight. So
Okay.
once we get done with our end of evening chat,
Okay.
probably get on.
So even after the raid, if we go somewhere and you have a inkling, be sure to go check out Toy after that. Drones, when is your next planned stream?
Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Cool. Okay. And Uber Nerd?
Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific. It is going to be, because I have reached the 2,000 follower limit.
Nice.
It is going
Congrats.
to be the Wookiee stream.
Sweet. I just typed up that mail and I just told Tut accidentally. I was like, please send me your hanger. It's like, just send me all your shit.
Shit. Come on, send it right now.
I just
And
said
by the
that.
way, congrats, Uber Nerd.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Great.
So I breached 2,000. I believe I'm at like 2,003 now. So
Yeah. That's awesome.
Very nice.
Yep. And
it is awesome.
we finished our 400 sub points the other day, so we got a new emote that we have to work on still, but we'll be doing that probably tomorrow on my channel.
Next goal, 5,000.
Well, we want 500 hopefully before there. 5,000 might be a little lofty.
Followers, not
Oh.
subscribers.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to get 500 on that. So we were hoping to do that throughout the next month or so. Hopefully we can get up there, but we'll see what happens. But everybody's doing a great job and having a good time doing it. So that
Yeah.
should be good. That should be good. Be sure, guys, also, if you're thinking about to go stop in Gio's channel and give him a little bit of love. I know he hasn't been able to stream much yet, but he does plan on it, and it's always nice to give him a little bit of a up there, you know, whenever you can. Let's see. Let's go somewhere where we normally don't. We are going to go hit up our friend Grimlock. We haven't raided Grimlock in a while. Grimlock's got 9 people watching, 6 people watching him. So let's blow up his chat really good and poop all over it. Let's poop all over it. So that'll be fun. So guys, we will see you either over in Toy's channel later tonight, or we'll see you tomorrow on one of these other fine gentlemen's channels. So make sure that you are tuning in to everybody, and we will see you later. Thank you so much for watching the SpaceBro Show. We love your faces, and this is where everybody's going to go. Let's go have some fun with Grimlock, and we'll see ya. We'll see ya a little bit later. Boop, 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 boop.
It's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. And we be out. This episode's been brought to you by Space Zombies, a fine purveyor of zombies everywhere. Make sure you shop Space Zombies whenever you're shopping for any of the undead. Thank you very much. Have a great night, guys. See you later.